screen. Click on your screen. Click on your screen to like. Dayo, how are you doing? Simeon, Ojúmọ́ Ire, Ojúmọ́ Ayọ̀, Ojúmọ́ Ìdùnnú àti àlàáfíà fún gbogbo wa o. Afro Film Herald, mo ṣe Ẹ̀làbọ̀rú, Ẹ̀làbọ̀yè, Ẹ̀làbọ̀ ṣíṣe o. How are we doing today? Ẹ káàbọ̀, ẹ kú ojúmọ́, Ojúmọ́ Ire, Ojúmọ́ Ayọ̀, Ojúmọ́ Ìdùnnú àti àlàáfíà fún gbogbo wa o. Keep clicking on your screen. Click on your screen. Let me know where you are streaming from today. Welcome to another episode of our Sunday morning live streaming. Welcome to another episode of our Sunday morning live streaming. Níbo lẹ ti ń gbọ́ wa lénìí, mo ṣe Ẹ̀làbọ̀rú, Ẹ̀làbọ̀yè, Ẹ̀làbọ̀ ṣíṣe o. Molly Fix, thank you so much for joining us today. Nature by Royal Art. If you're on this live streaming, please let me know. Signify that you're on this live streaming. Gbadamosi Ojúmọ́ Ire, thank you so much for streaming from Warri today. Moriamo mo ṣe ogbó atọ́yìn Ojúmọ́ Ire, Ojúmọ́ Ayọ̀, Ojúmọ́ Ìdùnnú àti àlàáfíà fún gbogbo wa níbi gbogbo tẹ́ ẹ bá ti ń gbọ́ mi láàárọ̀ yìí o. You're welcome to Ifa College. Àbọ̀rú, àbọ̀yè, àbọ̀ ṣíṣe fún gbogbo wa o. It's another episode of our Sunday morning live streaming. Another episode of our Sunday morning live streaming. If you're on the Global Ifa Community channel, please type in the comment section what our topic for today is. Queen B Esther, Ojúmọ́ Ire, Ojúmọ́ Ayọ̀, Ojúmọ́ Ìdùnnú àti àlàáfíà fún wa. Let's click on your screen, repost and share. Click on your screen, repost and share. For those of you on YouTube, please let me know that the screen is clear, audio and visuals is clear. If you're on YouTube, let me know that the audio and the visuals is clear. Ẹ ṣé gan ni a dúpẹ́. Ojúmọ́ Ire, Ojúmọ́ Ayọ̀, Ojúmọ́ Ìdùnnú àti àlàáfíà fún gbogbo wa o. If you are just joining us, this is Ifa College. This is the TikTok channel of Ifa College and the YouTube channel of Ìyánífá ЭWÀ TV, where we are streaming from today. If this is your first time here, this is a weekly live streaming that goes on. Kadej, okay? How are you doing? Thank you so much for sending in your gift. So every week like this, 12 noon Nigerian time and 7 a.m. for those of you on the EST, we stream live like this every Sunday. So if there is any episode that you have missed before now, please head over to our YouTube channel, Ìyánífá ЭWÀ TV on YouTube, to view our previous live streamings. Ẹ ṣé gan ni a dúpẹ́. Nike, thank you so much for joining us today. Mo ṣe Ẹ̀làbọ̀rú, Ẹ̀làbọ̀yè, Ẹ̀làbọ̀ ṣíṣe o. A ṣe ogbó atọ́ àsúre ìwòrìwò fún gbogbo ọmọ awo tó wà ní bíbá ilé ní. Where are our regular guests? Repost and share and like so that we can get started this morning. If you're on YouTube, please let me know that you can hear us and see us clearly. If you're on YouTube, let me know that you can hear us and see us clearly. If you're on YouTube, let me know that you can hear us and see us clearly. Ojúmọ́ Ire, Ojúmọ́ Ayọ̀, Ojúmọ́ Ìdùnnú àti àlàáfíà fún gbogbo wa o. Ẹ̀làbọ̀rú, Ẹ̀làbọ̀yè, Ẹ̀làbọ̀ ṣíṣe. For those of you on the Global Ifa community, please type in the comment section what is our topic for today. What topic are we discussing today? For those of you on the Global Ifa community, what topic are we discussing today? Kí là ń gbé yẹ̀wò lénìí? What topic are we discussing today? If you're on the Global Ifa community, let me know what topic we are speaking on today. Accurate Lagos, thank you so much for joining us today. Moshe Àbọ̀rú, àbọ̀yè, àbọ̀ ṣíṣe o. The topic for today is what is sin according to Ifa. What is sin according to Ifa? Those of you on YouTube, I still need somebody to comment and let me know that the screen is clear. Let me know if it is clear on YouTube. Ojúmọ́ Ire, Ojúmọ́ Ayọ̀, Ojúmọ́ Ìdùnnú àti àlàáfíà. Ìyá Ọ̀ṣun, thank you so much for that. Our topic for today is what is sin according to Ifa. For those of you that are from religious backgrounds, that are from Abrahamic religion, you have heard about sin. That's like the first thing that everybody is taught when they come into Ifa. Nature Beauty says, I have a lot of questions related to Ifa. Type your questions in the comment section. If your questions has to do with the topic of today, it will be responded to on this live streaming. If your question is going to take us way off from what we are talking about today, then you need to send a DM and ask your questions privately. So you can ask questions on this live streaming. And then the ones we can answer here, we would answer. And the ones that we cannot answer, I will let you know how to ask the other questions. As you join in, click on the plus sign to follow, click on your screen to like, share, and repost. So the topic of today is, what is sin according to Ifa? What does Ifa say that sin is? According to Ifa and Isheshe, is it the same thing that religion has said? In religion, sin is a set of do's and don'ts. If you have participated in any Abrahamic religion before, let me know what sin is. According to what they have taught you, what you knew before now, what is sin? Just share it with us. What do you know that sin is? According to the teachings you have received in Abrahamic religion, or just general conversation everywhere, what do you think sin is? If you are joining us for the first time, this live streaming is very interactive. It's a school. This is Ifa College. This is a school. So this is a class where we all get to learn, we all participate, and we respond, and we ask questions, and we deepen our knowledge in Ifa. At Ifa College, what we do majorly, what I do when I come here, is three things: helping you to unlearn the misconceptions and the lies that you have been told about Ifa, about Isheshe, about African spirituality, about yourself as a person, about this continent, about our culture, our tradition, our religion, our spirituality, and everything that we represent. So we are here to unlearn those misconceptions. The second thing we are here to do is to learn the truth, the undiluted, unwatered down truth about who we are, what we represent, what we are defined as, the truth about ourselves, the truth about our culture, our tradition, our way of life. And then we also relearn certain things that we used to know. We're probably forgotten those things, or we didn't take those things seriously. So here we unlearn, we learn, and we relearn. That is what we do at the Ifa College. So we're going to be doing that today. Now, I've asked a question. I need responses. Tracy, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for that gift. The question for today, the first question is, based on your knowledge as of today, what is sin? What do you understand sin to be? Based on your knowledge as of today, what do you understand sin to be? What is sin? Oh yeah, comment section so that we can move on. What is sin? What do you understand sin to be? Based on everything you have learned so far. Trust me, it's an important part of life. Morally is important. In the society is important. If you go against the rules and regulations of the society and you commit a sin in the society, there are consequences. So we really want to know what exactly is sin. I love that Africans are waking up. Oh, we love that we are waking up. I'm sure you are African. So say, I love that we are waking up. We are all Africans. Obieze, thank you so much for that. So what is sin? Or do you guys want me to go back and sleep? It's been a very busy week. Oh, if you're not there to respond, maybe we just call it a day and go and enjoy the rest of our weekend. Auntie Ajoke Golden Light, Moshe Ogbo Ato Asure Iworiwo Fun. Ogbo Ato Asure Iworiwo Fun. What is sin? According to what you have learned in moral society or what you have been taught in religion. Zip Adi Doda from YouTube, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank goodness that I can witness this generation. Trust me, our ancestors are happy. They are glad and grateful that they can witness this generation through us. Auntie Ajoke, Iya Oshun, who else is on the live streaming? Queen B. Esther, Frosh. I'm asking a question. No, if we don't respond, I'm just going to, let's go and sleep for today. What is sin? That's what we're talking about. So I need you to speak to me first. What do you understand by sin? What do you understand by it? So that I'll be sure what your misconceptions are. Sin is consequences of disobedience according to Christianity. Okay. Who else? Queen B. Esther, thank you so much for that. Somebody else. What do you understand sin to be? Very simple question. What's going on? Are you shy? You're on the other side of your screen. I'm not going to bring you up. If that's the reason you're shy, I'm not bringing you up. You're on the other side of the screen. So just type it in the comment section. Sin is a series of acts that has been tagged bad and unholy to participate in. May be similar to ЭWА. Okay. Somebody says sin may be similar to ЭWА. Okay. Thank you so much. Nature by Royal at Kadej. Thank you for that. Tracy said, when you go against moral values, that is sin. Okay. Thank you. Before we head over into our teaching, what's the first thing that we do? What is the first thing that we do before we delve into our teaching? What's that first thing that you do? When you come into the house of Ifa, Tabawa Sinule Ifa Kilaman Kokoshe, Iba. Iba Laman Kokoshe, Tabawa Sinule Ifa. And what is Iba? For those of you that don't know, Iba is simply paying homage. When you make Iba, you pay homage. You show respect to powers and authorities that are ahead of you. Ijuba. Accurate Lagos says sin according to the Bible is going against what isn't spiritual. Thank you so much for that. Paying homage is what Iba is. And we have this book, Iba She Yoruba, written by Ìyánífá ЭWÀ. You can head over to the website ifakole.ng to get a copy of it. Iba is how we pay homage to the spiritual authorities, to the hierarchies of powers and beings that exist before us. So this book is divided into three parts. We have the introduction part. We have part 1 that talks about the foundation, what Iba actually is. The spiritual architecture of Iba. Why does it matter? Why do we have to make Iba? Why do you hear people say Iba Olodumare, Iba Orisha, Iba Babami, Iba Iyami, Iba to all our spirits, powers and authorities? Why do we make Iba? Why does Iba matter? Chapter 3 talks about the practical application, how to apply Iba in your everyday life. Like I said, knowledge that you cannot apply practically in your everyday life is totally useless. I mean, it's an entire waste of your adult life to learn something that you cannot put into practical life. So chapter 3 talks about how to make Iba in your daily life, how to apply it to your daily life. Chapter 4 talks about the act of effective Iba. So you can give your Iba and it might not be effective because you are not going about it the right way. You can do the right thing and not get the results. It's like you want to plant and you are planting at the wrong time. And instead of you to water your plant, you are watering the leaves. You are actually watering, but you are not doing it the right way. Is that okay? So you must learn how to make Iba the effective way. Chapter 5 talks about precaution and common mistakes. Common mistakes that people make when they are making their Iba, when they are making their Ijuba, and the precautions that you have to take. Chapter 6 talks about the contemporary relevance of Iba in modern life. How is Iba relevant in our modern life? How is it relevant in technology, in this social media age, in the environments that we stay? Chapter 7 talks about Iba in profession and business context. Iba in your profession, your business, and your career context. Chapter 8 talks about deepening your practice in Iba to advance your mastery. To become a master of it, you are increasing your mastery, to get better in it, to become an authority when it comes to Iba, that they will say, when it comes to Iba, Iya Oshun, she knows how it works for her, and we can see result. How do you advance your mastery in the practice of Iba? Chapter 9 is the last chapter of part 1, and it talks about building a sustainable practice around Iba. Letting it become your everyday life, a sustainable practice to become part of your everyday life. Then you go to part 2. The part 2 of this book, part 1 is everything I listed right now. Part 2 talks about the beginning of reverence, Iba, that starts with Olodumare. So in part 2, we break down Iba for the spiritual hierarchy, different ones. We always start with Olodumare. Then we go to the cosmic council, àwọn Irúnmọlẹ̀ and Òrìṣà. You will learn how to make Iba to every single Irúnmọlẹ̀ and Òrìṣà that makes up the cosmic council. Then of course you make Iba to the living people that have passed. Now people call them dead because they are past, but according to Ifa and Ìṣẹ̀ṣe, nobody dies. They just pass to another realm. They are still living. So you learn how to make Iba to àwọn ará ọ̀run, to our ancestors that have passed, to your lineage that you came out from. In chapter 4 of part 2, you will learn how to make Iba to the womb of existence, àwọn Ìyámi and Ilẹ̀. Those two institutions constitute the womb of existence. Àwọn Ìyá and Ilẹ̀. Then you will learn how to make Ìbà to the gatekeepers of secret. Ìbà to àwọn awo and àwọn àgbàlagbà. Àwọn babaláwo Ìyánífá, the gatekeepers of our secret. So if you haven't gotten a copy of this book, please head over to the website ifakole.ng to get a copy, either physical copy or soft copy, and learn how to make your Ìbà. So we're starting our teaching today with Ìbà. You guys are not clicking on your screen. Oh, that is your only way to participate here today. That's how your participation works on this live streaming. Our flash goal for today is 7 gifters to send in their heart me. 7 different people to send in their heart me for today. 7 different people. Let's start with our Ìbà. Auntie Ajoke Golden Light, Eshegoni, how can I get a copy? Somebody should respond to how to get a copy of the Ìbà share book. Thank you so much. 7 people to send in their heart me for the day. Tracy, thank you. Kade, thank you. Nature by Royal Art. Auntie Ajoke Golden Light, Eshegoni. 3 more people. Akodaye Asheba Asheba Tiwaye Ojo, Asheba Tiwo Oòrùn. Elédùmarè ọba tẹ́rẹrẹ kárí ayé, ọba lè ṣe lè rí, ọba lè rí lè ṣe, àṣèbà àníkíbà wá ṣe ọ. Òràn ọmọ níṣẹ́ fàyà tí àṣèbà, ọba tó lọ kọrin kése, ọba lánàá, ọba lénìí, ọba títí ayérayé, àṣèbà àníkíbà wá ṣe ọ. Elédùmarè ọba tó tẹ́ sánmọ̀ bí ẹni tẹ́ aṣọ, ọba tó tẹ́lẹ̀ bí ẹni tẹ́ ní ẹ̀rù jẹ̀jẹ̀ tí migbó kìjikìji, ọba lánàá, ọba lénìí, ọba títí ayérayé, ọba tó lọ kọrin kése. Elédùmarè kábíyìn ò sí, ọba tí ò ní ìbẹ̀rẹ̀ tí ò ní òpin, àmọ́ tó jẹ́ ìbẹ̀rẹ̀ àti òpin ohun gbogbo, àṣèbà Olódùmarè àníkíbà wá ṣe ọ. Ajagunmalé olúwo òde ọ̀run, àṣèbà, àṣèbà olúbíkin, àṣèbà ọ̀sán ìbíkin, àṣèbà wọn tó tẹ̀ka tó tẹ̀, àṣèbà wọn tó ṣàwó kù sẹ́yìn fún wa, àṣèbà akọ́dá, àṣèbà ṣẹ̀dá, àṣèbà olúwo wa, àṣèbà odùgbọ̀nà, àṣèbà àwọn tó là wá lórí, àwọn tó dá wa lóṣù, àwọn tó kọ́ wa nífá, àwọn tó ṣe é kù fún wa, àwọn tó ní ká máa ṣe lọ, àṣèbà àníkíbà wá ṣe ọ̀run. Ẹ̀yin ìyá mi ọ̀pàtẹ́ àlàkẹ́, ẹ̀yin alágogo idẹ, ẹ̀yin ìyá mi òṣòro mọ̀nìgà, ẹ̀yin arógbáṣọ má balẹ̀, ẹ̀yin ìyá mi ọlọ́mú kan tí ń fún gba ọmọ ọlọ́mú, ẹlẹ́sẹ̀ kan tí ń bẹ́ lẹ́sẹ̀ méjì ń jà, ẹ̀yin arógbáṣọ má botan, ẹ̀yin ìyá mi atẹ̀dọ̀jòróró, ẹ̀yin apanimáyọ̀dà, ẹ̀yin ajé fún èèyàn máyò, ẹ̀yin olókìkí òru, ẹ̀yin ọlọ́wọ́ gbọgbọrọ tí ń yọmọ ẹ̀ lọ́fìn ayé, ẹ̀yin ìyá ayé, abiyamọ ọ̀run, abiyamọ ọlọ́jà gbọ̀rọ̀gbọ̀rọ̀ tí ò jẹ́ kọ́mọ ó jábọ́, ẹ̀yin ìyá mi òṣòro mọ̀nìgà, ẹ̀yin ìyá mi ẹlẹ́yẹ, ẹ̀yin ọ̀sá ẹlẹ́yẹ, ọ̀sá méjì, àṣèbà yín o, àníkíbà wá ṣe o. Èní lọ̀ọ̀sẹ̀ òòṣà ńlá, èní lọ̀ọ̀sẹ̀ Ọbàtálá, èní lọ̀ọ̀sẹ̀ ọba lúfọ̀, èní lọ̀ọ̀sẹ̀ ọba ló ayé, èní lọ̀ọ̀sẹ̀ gbogbo àwọn òrìṣà tá à ń ṣọ̀sẹ̀ fún lẹ́nu. Aníkọ́lọ́sẹ̀ ó gbà ọkọ́ má dà sí wa lára láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Kábíyèsí Ṣàngó, àkàtà yẹríyẹrì, iná lórí, iná nímú, iná lẹ́nu, wọ́n níná ń bẹ lọ́dọ̀ bàbá mi lọ́rùn, èéfín nìkan là ń gbá láyè. Kábíyèsí Ṣàngó, ọba kòso, araba bí ọkọ ọya lógun lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ orò lábísòkun, àṣèbà Ṣàngó àníkíbà wá ṣe ọ. Ìyá mi ọ̀ṣìṣẹ́ ìgẹ̀ṣẹ́ olóyè ayọ̀ ládé kojú ẹbọra tí ń gbé nínú omi, ìyá mi ẹ̀wùjẹ alágbolódò, àṣèbà òun ayanrìn kówó sí, kọ́lá sí, kájé sí, àṣèbà omi o, ọ̀tá o, ẹ̀rí o, àgbá o, aṣọre yèyé ọ̀ṣun o, àníkíbà wá ṣe ọ. Yemọja, iye gbogbo ọmọ ẹja, ìyá mi àfíjú obìnrin, ẹbọra tí ń gbé nísàlẹ̀ omi, àfíjú obìnrin tí ń gbàdọ̀bálẹ̀ ẹgbẹẹgbẹ̀rún lọ́nà ẹgbẹ̀rún ọkùnrin. Wọ́n ní ọkùnrin tó bá fojú di ìyá mi Yemọja, àtòkọ àtẹkùn ẹ̀ ní ò lọ sí Iyemọja, àfíjú obìnrin, àṣẹ ìbà àníkíbà wá ṣe o. Ògúnlákayé ọ̀ṣì ìmọ̀lẹ̀, olómi nílé fẹ̀jẹ̀wẹ̀, òláṣọ nílé fi mọ̀kímọ̀ bora, ògún tó lànà fálára, ògún tó lànà fàjèrò, àṣèbà ògún o, àníkíbà wá ṣe o. Èṣù láàlú ògiri òkú láàróyè, wọ́n ní ẹlẹ́kún sunkún láàróyè ń sùn jẹ, wọ́n ní ẹlẹ́kún ṣumí láàróyè ń ṣòfin, àṣèbà èṣù láàlú, àṣèbà èṣù ilé, èṣù ajé, èṣù ọ̀dàrà, àṣèbà àníkíbà wá ṣe ọ. Ọbàtálá, ọba tá àṣà, ọba takuntakun lóde ìrẹ̀lẹ̀, àṣèbà òrìṣà funfun gbàdélẹ̀, àṣèbà àṣèbà àníkíbà wa ṣe o. Àṣèbà orí wa, àṣèbà ẹlẹ́dàá, àṣèbà àwọn lọ́kọ̀ tó wà wá wá sáyé, àwọn ìyá wa, bàbá wa, àwọn tó wà pẹ̀lú wa, àwọn tó ti rebi àgbáre, àṣèbà wọn, àníkíbà wa ṣe o. Àṣèbà gbogbo babaláwo, gbogbo ìyánífá, gbogbo bàbá lórìṣà, gbogbo ìyá lórìṣà, gbogbo àpẹ̀tẹ̀bí, gbogbo àwọn eléwé ọmọ, àwọn oníṣègùn, gbogbo àwa tá a jókòó tá à ń ṣiṣẹ́ ẹrúnmọlẹ̀, àṣèbà o, àníkíbà wa ṣe o. Gbogbo lọ́balọ́ba níjòyè níjòyè la ṣèbà fún, gbogbo kábíyèsí, gbogbo adélé ọba, gbogbo olórí láàfin ọba la ṣèbà fún. Àníkádé ó pẹ́ lórí yín, àníkírùkẹ̀rẹ̀ pẹ́ lọ́wọ́, àníkàṣẹ́ pẹ́ lẹ́nu, kí bàtà pẹ́ lẹ́sẹ̀, kí ìlú yẹn má torí yín tù. Àṣèbà àwọn alálẹ̀ tó gbé yín síbẹ̀, àníkíbà wa ṣe o. Ifá orí mi rèé o, ifá olókun asọ̀rọ̀ dayọ̀, ifá ẹlẹ́rìí ìpín, ifá torí ẹni tí ò sí wọn ṣe, ifá afinimọ̀nà ọmọ aráyé, ifá ohun ẹnu olódùmarè, ifá olójú lukára bí ajere, àṣèbà àṣèbà àníkíbà wa ṣe o. Ẹ̀kọ́ ifá mi ìlàtún wá kọ́lé ni o. Ọgbọ́n, ìmọ̀ àti òwe tó wà nínú ẹ̀, òun ni kó jẹ́ tèmi àti yín. Ká fi etí ọ̀tún gbọ́, kó má gba tòsì jáde, kó dénú wa, kó dodidi, kó múre ajé wá, ire ọlá, ire ọlà, ìdùnnú, àlàáfíà, ìlera pípé àti àìkú tí ń ṣe baálé ọ̀rọ̀ láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Kémi àti yín má gbọ́ lásán o, ká má ṣe lásán. Ifá ti gbé àwọn tó ṣíwájú wa, ó di dandan kí Ifá gbé wa. Iná ẹ̀kọ́ ifá ilé ní, Ifá bá wa ṣe, Elédùmarè á bá wa ṣe. Àwọn tó ṣàwo kù sẹ́yìn ńkọ́, wọ́n á bá wa ṣe tiwa láṣepélé ní, láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Àníkíbà wa ṣe o, ìbá ṣe. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sí orí ètò wa, ètò yín, ètò Sunday morning live streaming with Ìyánífá ЭWÀ on Ifá College. Lórí ìkànnì Ifá College ní TikTok, òun la ti ń sọ̀rọ̀ lénìí, òun lẹ ti ń wò wá lénìí. Àti ìkànnì Ìyánífá ЭWÀ TV lórí YouTube lẹ ti ń gbọ́ wá lénìí. Àwọn tó ṣàwòkù sẹ́yìn, wọ́n á bá wa ṣe láṣepé láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Grand rising and welcome to another episode of our Sunday morning live streaming with Ìyánífá ЭWÀ. We're streaming live today on our TikTok channel Ifá College and the YouTube channel Ìyánífá ЭWÀ TV. Wherever it is you're streaming from, please let me know where you're joining us from today. Ẹ ṣé gan ni a dúpẹ́. Our flash goal for today is the heart me. 2 more people to send in their heart me for the day. 2 more people to send in their heart me for today. Èèyàn méjì ló kù. Títílọlá Ayaba, ẹ kú ojúmọ́, ojúmọ́ re, ojúmọ́ ayọ̀. If you're joining us today and this is your first time, welcome. We have this regularly every Sunday, 12 noon Nigerian time and 7 a.m. for those of you on the EST. Thank you so much for helping us to meet our goal. YouTube is really clear today. I guess it's the location where we are today. Ẹ ṣé gan ni a dúpẹ́. Thank you so much for helping us meet our flash goal. For everybody that participated, Ajé Ògúngúlú sọ onísọ òbòjì, Ajé will increase you, Ajé will expand you, Ajé will replenish you. Wọ́n ní àbùdí òun ni tolókun, àbùdí ni tọlọ́sà, bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń bù ó máa máa dí ni. That means as you take water out of the ocean, it automatically replaces itself. So as you take out money, as you take out finances to meet your needs, to pay your bills, to support everything that you are doing, Ajé will continue to replenish it for us. Àgbájọwọ́ la fi ń ṣe o. This is something we do together. This is our own part and you are playing your part. Ẹ ṣé gan ni a dúpẹ́. So the topic of today is what is sin? What is sin? Auntie Kimi, Ogbo Ato Asure Iworiwofun, it's good to have you here. The topic of today is what is sin? And some people have attempted to define the word sin before you guys joined on, for those of you that are just joining. So what is sin? According to religion, sin is when you do something wrong, when you do something that goes against the moral and spiritual values, when you do something that is a disobedience to the instructions that you are given. So first of all, there has to be a set of instructions that is given. You going against this is what makes it a sin. Now, if there are no set of instructions given, you cannot say somebody has committed a sin. Where there is no law, there's no crime. Where there are no rules and regulations, there is nobody that goes against them. So first of all, religion has defined a set of rules and regulations generally for everybody. It's a one-size-fits-all. And they say if at any point, for whatever reason, you go against this, you have committed sin and there are consequences for it, right? So that's what we are used to. But today we want to learn, what does sin mean according to Ifá? Now, like I always say, I have a script here. that helps me to guide my time. Because if you leave me and these wonderful people on this live streaming, we might be here till tomorrow. You know me, I can talk forever, for as long as there is breath. But because we're not going to do that today, we are going to walk in line with the scripts that I have given, that I have written down here. Before I start, do the 3 things I'm going to ask you to do before I start. Number 1 is make sure you're commenting, make sure you're participating, make sure you're clicking on your screen, you are sharing, you are reposting, and you are asking questions and answering the questions that I ask you. Have we agreed that you're going to do that before we continue? Juliet, thank you so much for joining us. Oh, baby. Oh, my goodness. I like that. Sounds very sexy and, Thank you so much. So have you guys all agreed to do that with me today? Yes. All right. So let's move on. Now, today's topic is what is sin according to Ifa. And I want to tell you something immediately, that this teaching is what it is and what it is not. So nobody misunderstands me and goes around to say, Ìyánífá ЭWÀ said this, before you quote me. Listen to me and understand what I'm saying. This is not an Odu breakdown. This is a conversation over the years that has come. We are not picking a particular Odu today to bring it down. We are bringing conversations to help unlearn certain misconceptions that we have been taught. I call today's conversation a family meeting, a family conversation. So if you have not joined the Ifa family, we officially welcome you to our family meeting. We have this once in a while. This is a kind of conversation that your elders will sit down with you and have with you. So as an elder in this house, I'm having this conversation with you. Now, I'm not going to stand here today and tell you that what you do to other people doesn't matter. No. I'm not going to tell you that whatever it is you do against somebody, or when you do the things that the church says you should not do. It's at the back of this one. When you do the things that church says that you should not do, I'm not going to tell you that it doesn't matter. Of course it matters. Absolutely it does matter. But I'm also going to tell you this. That side of when you do something to somebody, it is wrong. You have heard it in church. You have heard it in religious organizations. You have heard it in all the religious settings. But there is a part of it that most people don't talk to you about. And that is the part that everything that you do that is considered wrong and considered as a sin is something you do that involves other people. The first lesson you learned about sin has to do with what you do to other people. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't care what you do to other people, but I'm saying that it starts before that. Before you start to interact with other people, you have an interaction with yourself. And if you don't settle with yourself what sin means and what it represents, you are not able to totally comprehend how to deal with people. Let's take for instance, those of you that went to church, Sunday school and all of that, you learned the 10 commandments. How many of them can you remember? Whichever one you can remember, please post it in the comment section. But when you post it, remember that certain words are not allowed on the algorithm. So just type those words the best way that suits the algorithm. So whatever it is you can remember about the 10 commandments, thou shalt not, thou shalt not. Okay. Auntie Kimi says thou shalt not steal. Another one. What other one can you remember? These are ordinary everyday things. And the funny thing is that these things are also in the society every day. It says thou shalt not commit adultery. Okay. 2. Another one. Thou shalt not buy somebody. Thou shalt not covet your neighbor's wife. Okay, that's number 4. Another one. Thou shalt not bow to any other gods before me. That's number 5. Somebody has already said thou shalt not steal. Now, listen to the pattern that all that thing follows. It talks about things that you do in relationship with other people. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. There are things that you do to other people. Before you can be accused of adultery, you have to deal with somebody else. Before you can steal, it has to be somebody else. Before you can bear false witness, there has to be somebody else involved. Before you can bow to other gods, there has to be somebody, another entity involved. But before you go to the part of committing adultery and fornication, you had a conversation with yourself. You are first a person. You are a single person, unmarried person. Before you were somebody that was below the intimacy. Somebody said, oh, but she know. Thou shalt not make for yourself an idol. Thank you. Before you got to the stage where somebody can accuse you, quote and unquote, of adultery, you were first an underage person who wasn't involved in intimacy. Now, what was seen to you at that time? What was the instruction given to you at that time? What kind of relationship did you have with yourself at that time? Before the age where you could pick up something else from somebody and it will be considered a sin that you are stealing and somebody will beat you for it or punish you for it, what was your relationship with yourself? What were the conversations you had with yourself? Before the first opportunity of coveting somebody's wife, what was the conversation you had with yourself? That is where, if I start from the basics, from the foundation, before I step out to interact with other people, what conversation did I have with myself? What was the definition of sin to me? Because if I'm dealing with myself alone, there are a lot of things that is not going to happen. If I'm dealing with myself alone, I cannot commit adultery. I cannot steal. I cannot bear false witness. There are so many things I cannot do. But there is an existence of you outside of every other person. Now, where does that come from? And that is what Ifa is pointing out our attention today. So that side of how you interact with other people has been preached for over 2,000 years. Every church you have attended, every mosque, every crusade, every Sunday school, every Bible study, Quran study, every Friday sermon at the Quran, this is the same thing. Thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not buy people, thou shalt not lie, thou shalt not take your neighbor's wife, thou shalt not. It's always, everybody has talked about that. Now, everything on this list points outwards, away from you, towards somebody else. And I want you to notice something today. And I do not think that you have probably ever thought about it. Nobody puts you, talks about sin when it comes to you. You have been taught your entire life that being good means the way you treat other people. Nobody talks about being good in the way you treat yourself. Nobody looks at you and say, you're a good person because you take your shower every day, because you eat right, because you take care of yourself, you allow yourself to rest and sleep. Nobody defines you as a good person based on the way you treat yourself. Nobody defines you as a good person based on the conversation you have with yourself. Every good person is defined in relation with other people. You being good talks about how you treat somebody else. Nobody talks about how it is you. Now, I was having a conversation with my partner a couple of days ago, and he was sharing an experience with one of his siblings with me. And he did not like how his sibling had treated him. But at the end of the day, I paused to think, can we also talk about how that person is feeling before they came out with that reaction? Can we talk about what is going on within the mind of that person before they can do that? There are certain things that are totally not acceptable. Can we talk about the fact that it is almost impossible for a sane person to just want to wake up in the morning and say, I just want to be bad. I just want to do things wrong. I just want people to see me as wrong. I just don't care. I just want to do this. No. 90% of the time, there is something that is fundamentally wrong with that person outside of their relationship with other people before they start to do that. This morning, we were talking about, rich men in the society, people that have money, that have influence, and they can have almost any woman based on the money and the influence they have. They can have intimacy with almost anybody. 90%, 80% of the women around. But they will still choose to sleep with their friend's wife. They will still choose to sleep with their friend's wife. Now, think about it. Somebody of influence that has built a name, that has built fame, that has built brands or businesses, that has built money, that comes from a lineage and a family name that somebody is proud of, decides that of all the women in the world that he can have, he wants to have his friend's wife. Something that he knows that if it comes public, people will look at it as a shameful thing. He chooses to do it. How does that sound to you? Because for me, there's no difference between that person and someone that can afford to buy any food and decides to go into the market and tell the market woman, can you give me the meat that is almost bad? And that meat that has stayed on your stack for like 5-6 days, that little bit of maggot is coming out of it, can you give me that one to eat? If somebody says that around you, the market woman will look at him like, I'm sorry, what do you want to use it for? No, he says he wants to cook it and eat it. You immediately know that this person is not mentally stable. Something is wrong somewhere. That's the way it is. Because none of us, most of us were not taught as to sit down and have conversations with ourselves. What is the thing that I am doing for myself? In this situation, if I am caught sleeping with my friend's wife or my friend's husband, what does that make me? What light does that put me? I'm not even talking about the fact that I'm going to hurt my friend. I'm not even talking about the fact that I'm going to hurt my friend's wife. I'm not talking about any other person. I'm asking about me. If for some magical reason, that hotel that we went to hide into, if for some reason there is a camera there that is streaming us live, how would I feel that the rest of the world is finding out about this? If the answer is I don't care, then there's something wrong with you. There is something fundamentally wrong with you. You need help. A lot of those men, I'm using men as an example because it is more prominent with men. I'm not saying women don't do it. I mean, it involves a man and a woman, so both of them are doing it anyway. When such information goes out and they find out, I don't know how we say Ubuju in English, the best way. The person will act very egocentric and just say, you know what, I don't care, I'm a man, I can do what I want to do. But when the doors are shut, how does it feel? How does it feel that the society is now looking at him like somebody that slept with somebody's wife? Nonchalant, thank you. They act like they are nonchalant in front of all of you and you think they don't care. But when the doors are closed and they are left with themselves, trust me, nobody wants to be seen in that light. Nobody wants the name and the integrity that they have built to just go down the drain by a singular act of 1 hour enjoyment maximum. Nobody wants to. But because we were never taught to come to a point in our life where we can truly have conversation with ourselves, where ourselves matter, like me, I matter as a person. No, we were never taught that. We were taught about how we are defined in face of other. As long as somebody else doesn't know and you can hide it, you are good. You are doing something that you know is wrong. That's why you are hiding it. But as long as the other person doesn't know, you are good. You can commit adultery all you want. As long as your wife doesn't find out, your husband doesn't find out, your children don't find out, you are good. And this is the reason, despite the fact that hell has been the fear handcuff, the fear chain that has been wrapped around human beings, people still secretly commit sin because in their mind, sin has to do with what somebody else will find out about them. They don't think about how they feel when they are by themselves, when they are left with themselves. They don't think about that. It's as long as people don't find out, I'm good. As long as people don't know, it's okay. But Ifa says no. Ifa says the first problem is you. Ifa says there is no hell that is waiting for you anyway. Ifa says you are going to live your hell loop in this life. You are going to face it and live it. And the moment you understand that, you know that all of this hiding behind, let's go and do it in the corner. Let's tell another lie to cover up the previous one. You will find out that it's nothing. It does not save you from nothing. It is, see, that other person is secondary. You are primary. The moment you have done it, you have primarily done something else. Somebody said, some people love to do sinful things. That's what I'm saying. It is fundamentally, something is fundamentally wrong with a person that enjoys doing wrong things. Sit down and analyze them. There's something that is wrong with them. Something is fundamentally out of place with them. There's a trauma they are living. There is a hurt that is going on with them that just pushes them to go out and hurt other people. There is a state of unhappiness that they are dealing with, and they are masking it with, I don't care, I can do it. No. Strip them of all of those things and sit down and have a conversation with themselves. You will, sitting in front of you is a damaged person. Somebody that has been damaged physically, spiritually, mentally, psychologically, emotionally, materially. Somebody that has been damaged. That's the definition of that person. That's the definition of it. A lot of them don't even know. So they cannot go around to seek for help. A lot of them don't even know. They just think, in this life, nobody is perfect. Everybody does whatever it is that they want to do, and I'm just doing my own. T says, it amazes me the delusion of people that do sinful things and still having the guts to say God forgives. That's delusion. And that delusion is 80% owed to religion. They tell you not to do this, not to do that. But they tell you immediately you do this, you can just say, Father, forgive me, and it's gone. It's an illusion. It's a lie. It doesn't exist. The moment you put an action into this life, if you don't fix that action before it grows out into consequences, you will get it. Some of them, the moment you put them out, you cannot escape the consequences. That's the way life works. I don't care who your God is. I don't care the image of God that you have created in your head. It doesn't matter. Life is what life is. If we tell ourselves, if you told yourself in church that as it is in heaven, so it is on earth. So you know that as it is in the spiritual, so it is in the physical. The same way you cannot put out a physical choice and not have consequences for it. Hell yes. If you put out a spiritual choice, you are going to have consequences for it. That's the way it is. It doesn't matter who is deceiving you, who is forgiving you. Does that mean you should not make peace and ask for forgiveness? By all means, ask for forgiveness. But there are some consequences that you cannot escape. So the moment you start to live life with understanding that everything you do, you are building something for yourself. It is about you. Think about yourself first. I say this a lot. If the only reason that you are sure that your partner will not cheat on you is because they love you, you are in trouble. As a woman, if you come out to say, I know my man loves me, he can never cheat on me, that's the only reason you are holding on to, you are in trouble. Because that your man is a human being that is subject to change. That your man does not have the capacity to love you 24/7. He doesn't even have the capacity to love himself 24/7. So what happens in the day where love cannot show up? There has to be something more than the way he feels about you. There has to be something more than that. There has to be a conversation he has had with himself. That you know that the reason this man will not do this is because he loves himself, he cares about himself, he respects himself, he holds himself in integrity. He knows that something is at stake about himself. If you don't find somebody that has had that conversation with themselves, you are secondary. You meet somebody that cannot say the reason I will not cheat is because I respect myself. I will not be caught in bed with another woman that is not. It's just not me. I respect myself too. What if somebody else is find out? I'm building a name and an integrity. I don't want it to be messed up. If you cannot find somebody that can truly say that about themselves and you think you are the reason they will not cheat. Yeah, you know when a Yoruba woman does, that's what I'm doing. Interpret it. Tell ChatGPT to interpret. A human being that has blood and water flowing through their veins. Look at what you are doing today. If somebody told you 20 years ago that this is what you have been doing, are you going to believe it? Yes. That's how life is. But let it come from a place of inside of them. The only reason some people cannot steal right now and do 000 behind figures in their office is because they will catch them. It's not because they do not have the ability to do it. We all have the ability to turn zeros. The reason you will not do it, the reason I will not do it is because I know what is going to come if I do it. Ifa has told me in my old room, don't take what does not belong to. The moment you take it, you start to stop the flow of blessing to you. If you are going to take it, make sure that thing you are taking is going to last you for a lifetime. Because if it doesn't last you for a lifetime, you have cut off the one that can last you for a lifetime and picked up this one that is momentary. That's what my old Ifa tells me. So, excuse me, the reason I'm not going to steal from you is not because I love you. It's not because I love the company or I love the country. It's because I understand how life works with me. It's because I love myself. It's because I will not steal 1 million today and cut short hundreds of millions that Ajay can give to me between now and tomorrow. It doesn't have anything to do with you. Yes, I love you, but it is beyond you. You have to define it to yourself. T says the problem is grown people knowing the deeds are wrong and sinful and still doing them. It's because they don't know, like I said, two things. Is either they are not stable somewhere. It's an outburst of something. They are seeking attention from something that they are dealing with inside of them that they cannot talk about. Or secondly, they don't realize the consequences attached to the things that they are doing. Because society has taught them that the only consequence is if they catch you, you get to court, you are sentenced. Especially if you live in an environment where you can take advantage of the corrupt system. You know that even if they catch you, you can find your way around it. Or you know that the person you are doing it against, once you manipulate them, ask them to forgive you, threaten them, they will forgive you and life moves on. It's not about them. They don't understand it from the angle that every action they put out has to do with them. The moment they understand it, then I don't see, give me 10 people and tell me how many of them want to deliberately hurt themselves. The moment a person wants to deliberately hurt themselves, you know that psychologically they are not balanced. There's a problem. They need help. But for people that don't have that problem, they don't understand the consequences. As far as people are concerned, when you sin against God. But God can forgive you. So why not just sin? And let God forgive you. God has already said, don't do this. Oh boy, if you do this, if you say, Father, forgive me in Jesus' name, He will forgive you. If you say Astaghfirullah, Allah will forgive you. You have already. So where is the accountability in that? How do you stop somebody from committing sin like that? When you tell a child, don't smash this iPad on the floor, but if you smash it on the floor and you say, Mommy, I'm sorry, I will buy another one for you. And the child knows that my mommy can afford to buy 1 million iPad. In fact, my mommy owns Apple. They will smash the iPad for. There is no accountability there. As long as they want to hear the sound of crushed glass, they just do bang on the floor. Mommy, please, I'm sorry. And mommy gives them another one. And if the mommy says, no, I'm not giving you, but mommy, that's what you said now. You said, if I confess my sins, you are faithful and just to forgive me. And everything old has passed away and all things has become new. You have to do it because that's what you promised. And in quote, you are God that cannot lie. You see where the lack of responsibility and accountability came from? Thank you so much, Babati. Thank you for joining us today. He says, Kosi ashegbe, ashekpamoni, everything. No, exactly. The moment you know that you cannot do something and get away with it, you are doing it. Money, you are doing it and they are keeping it for you in the cooler. In Yoruba language, there's something we have. The pounded yam that they pounded 20 years ago. In that cooler, when you open it, it's still hot. The heat will still catch up with you. Don't worry, they are saving it for you. When you understand sin and life from that, there are so many things that people are doing that they will not do. Why does a man ask for? You told a man, a Christian pastor, an imam that is shouting in the mosque, You told both of them that don't commit sin or don't sleep with somebody else's wife. The day they want to sleep with the person's wife, they ask for condom. Sorry, please, why are they asking for condom? Shebi, you have decided to sleep with anybody's wife. Comment section, please. The man that goes to sleep with another person's wife, or the woman that goes to sleep with another person's husband, why does she ask the man to use condom? Why is the man asking for condom? We are adults in this comment section. Please let me know. Type it in the comment section. Let's understand how it makes sense to both of us. As you are joining, continue to click on your screen. Click on your screen, reshare, repost, and follow the creator. To be protected, okay, so that she doesn't get pregnant, so that there is no traces. Two-factor authentication. Really? Or so that they don't catch STI, you see? Why don't they allow themselves to get STI and say, Father, forgive me in Jesus' name and take this STI away? Because STI doesn't work like that. Because the consequences of unprotected intimacy is not an illusion, it is a reality. They have seen it, they've learnt it, they know it. If you know that you carried your head on your chest, go and sleep with a random girl and don't use any protection. Shebi, you have decided to do it. So when it now comes to the point of protection, you know that you need to protect yourself from the consequences. But when you decided to put your two left leg into the act of sin, you did not think that there will be consequences of the sin. You see what I'm saying? We are adults, we know what we are doing. People know what they are doing. They have seen the consequences of unwanted pregnancy, STIs, whatever it is, traces of the person's DNA in their body. They've seen it. They protect themselves from that. But didn't they know that if their wife found out, the wife would be hurt? Why didn't they protect their wife from being hurt at that moment? They don't care about the wife in that moment. They are thinking about, I don't want anybody to come and say they are pregnant. I don't want to have HIV. HIV is the consequences of what? Illicit intimacy. You see what I'm saying? That is because sin was defined to you as something you do against somebody. In that moment, he's thinking, I don't want my wife to catch me. Let me go and hide in Ibitojo Olomo. Let me go and hide in Musafun Eto. That's what they used to call those hotels, Musafun Eto. If the woman now finds him there, he will now carry his shoulder like a gamma lizard and say, I respected you. That's why I took out of Lagos. That's why I went to behind the scene. That's his. But if you, why do you need to do that with HIV? And say, Shebi, I went to hide when I was doing it. HIV, Shebi, I prayed about it. Why didn't HIV? You see what I'm saying? T says many men are still doing it unprotected these days. They don't care about the consequence. That's why I say they are not mentally balanced. Psychologically, they are not okay. Because they wear shirt, Nike shirt, Gucci shirt, Agbada that is 300K for 5 years. You think they are normal? They are not normal. Somebody that can be intimate with another woman, 5 minutes enjoyment, and does not care that he's going to get hepatitis B, STIs and HIV. You think that person is normal? Normal now. It's not normal. It's like someone that is standing in front of a railway crossing and say, this is where he wants to be sleeping today. He doesn't care whether train is coming. It's not normal. So you see, two sides of it. I mentioned it earlier. Those that are psychologically unstable and people that just do not understand what consequences is. Exactly. How can a normal person not care about being infected? That person is not normal. It's either whereby it's in she, wọ́n ti fi intimacy yẹn, wọ́n ti fi ṣépè fún. Wọ́n ti ní bí ó ti ṣèyàn kan in the past. Tẹ́ni yẹn ti ní wàá máa ṣe kiri tí tó fi máa kan HIV. It's not normal. But a sane person will not do that. No matter how much he's aroused or whatever it is, he will make sure that they get the condom and fix it properly. Now, let's continue our class. This is the reason I always have a script. so that we'll not go into plenty conversation like that. So the topic of today is what is sin according to Ifa, and we're breaking down certain things. Okay. Now, the word they translated wrongly. Let me start by clearing up something, because I have seen people online say Yoruba has a word for sin. Now, if you're a Yoruba person, please type in the comment section, what is the Yoruba word for sin? What's the Yoruba interpretation or the Yoruba meaning for sin? What's the Yoruba meaning for sin? Type it in the comment section. I'm going to teach you something false in order for us to point out something that is true. Yoruba has so many words, plenty of them, that describe what is called sin. Ewọ. Babati, thank you so much for that. Who else? There's a general regular word for sin in Yoruba, and the word is ẹ̀ṣẹ̀. Ẹ̀ṣẹ̀, yeah. Yeti, I'm sure that's what you were trying to type. Ẹ̀ṣẹ̀. That's the offense and the wrongdoing, a breach. Okay? Àṣìṣe. We have àṣìṣe. Àṣìṣe is error. The error, the mistake. To do a thing wrongly. To look at that word itself. It said ṣìṣe. Something that you do in a wrong way. It is defined in Yoruba as wrong. Okay? Then you have ibi, negativity, the evil that you do. Ma yen shebi, on shebi. You are doing something that is wrong. Is a general word for something that is evil. The opposite of ire, the opposite of goodness and blessing. And then we have ewọ, just like Babati said. He also says here, ashemashi. Thank you so much for that. That is a taboo, a prohibition, a thing you normally must not touch. Under no circumstances should you move around it. You must not touch it. Ewọ ni. Now, ewọ is different from ẹ̀ṣẹ̀. Is different from àṣìṣe. You understand? English has just one word, you know. Yes, there are taboos, but taboos are not considered moral sin in that sense of it. You understand? Now, let's break it down. Those are 4 different words, 4 different meanings. Our ancestors were not confused people. They knew the difference between a man made a mistake and a man who committed an offense. They know the difference between a man who made a mistake, a man who committed an offense, and a man who broke his personal taboo, and a man that carries negativity in his bloodstreams. Those are 4 different things. They are all called sin. I made a mistake under the law. There's no such thing like that. You have done. If somebody says he mistakenly pulled the trigger and somebody is unalive, is either they call it murder or manslaughter. He has unalived somebody. Do you understand? But in Ifa, we understand that there's a difference between a man who made a mistake, that is àṣìṣe, a man who committed an offense, that is ẹ̀ṣẹ̀, a man who broke his personal taboo, that is ewọ, and a man who carries negativity inside of him. Any ibi, oni bi ni ibi, any ibi. You know when they call somebody any ibi, there are people like that. Let's start from the any ibi. See, there are people in this world, they are physically representing the other side of ire, ibi. In Ifa, we say tibitire nílé ayé, bíre ṣe wà níbí wà, bá a ṣe lẹ́ni ire la lẹ́ni ibi. Tibitire nílé ayé, ire is the blessings. The other side of blessing, the negative side, they coexist in this life. Remember, those of you that are students of Ifa College, your first class is this. Look at your hand. You see your palm and the other side of your hand. You see the difference between the two. They coexist in the same hand. You see the line that separates them. This part cannot exist without this part. You cannot take this part of your hand home and leave this one in the office. Both of them together, tibitireni. So the same way you have people that are ire, good people, wonderful people, blessed people. You want to say something to me? No, okay. Good people, wonderful people, blessed people. They are here. The same way you have people that are inherently bad. You see those people, they are existing in a physical body, but they are the balance of good. That is their existence. It runs in their DNA. Some of them, they don't have a concrete human existence. They don't have a concrete human existence. Some of you have met them before. If you sit down with them and say, let me know your father's house, where you come from, by the time you get to that house where they come from and you ask their mommy and their mommy and their daddy are likely to say, we are not the one that gave birth to her, we adopted her, we took her from the side of the road, we found her here. They usually don't have any concrete physical existence. Let's fix this puzzle. Oh, no, don't do that, this puzzle thing. Okay, we got it. They usually don't have any physical existence, any physical connection, any human connection. They are just there in this life to exist as the balance of life. Tí ire bá ti lọ báyìí, ìjọ tí bí bá máa lọ báyìí, they are the ones that are going to perpetrate it. Please, can you repeat the 4 aspects? Yes, I'll go back to it again. Those people are naturally like that. That is why in Ifá we make this ìwúre pé ẹni bí Elédùmarè má jẹ́ ká bá wọn tò. Ẹni títí ẹ ti bàjẹ́ tó ń wẹ́ni kúnra kí Elédùmarè má jẹ́ ká pàdé wọn. Àwọn ní Yorùbá ń pè ní àjẹgbodò tí ń wẹ́ni kúnra. Any lẹ́lẹ̀, somebody that is on the floor already, he doesn't have anywhere that is going, and he wants to drag everybody through the mud. They are in the worst state of their life. They don't have anything to lose. The person that is on the floor does not have any fear of falling. Aṣọ wọn ti pọ́n tẹ́lẹ̀, they don't have any one. You are the one that is wearing white clothes that you are scared that your dress should not get stained, should not get bad. You see those people, they were born with tattered clothes in life. Aṣọ wọn pọ́n wá sílé ayé ni. They are existing in this world like that. You see what you are calling morals. Those are the people that you'll be persuading, oh, they shit that stop acting like this. They don't know how not to act in EB. Now, somebody said, is it their fault? You see those people, those entities are not the kind of entities that you fault. They are not the kind of entities that you fault. That's their own path in this life. They are just here for balance. Hardly will you ever find nemesis catching up with them. Hardly will you ever find nemesis catching up with them. Àwọn tó ń wẹ́ ní bá kú, àwọn ẹ̀ bá kú ẹ̀dá, bàbá tí ẹ̀ ṣe gan ni. You see those people, they are the ones that you say, this one will be disrespectful to this person did this person. When it's 1 minute to catch them, they will escape again. And if eventually nemesis catches up with them, once they go, they are coming back in life to exist again in that same form. They are the balance of life. Same way you find them in Ire. There are spiritual entities of Ire. When you meet such people, you will feel like you have met an angel. There is no way you can explain how somebody can be, how a human being can just be physically loving, caring against all odds. Irrespective of what you do to them, they cannot change. They just breathe and bleed goodness. A lot of them are just spiritual entities existing here to put a balance in life. Such people, you meet them randomly. After they've been good to you, now start wondering, I met one woman when I was in secondary school. You don't know where she's from, you don't know her name, you don't know her address, you don't know any relative, you don't know nothing. They just come. Thank you so much for that. You just find them. And such people are very rare. Yes, they are just the balance on. So they are here. They are on the two extremes. So take, for instance, this is the extreme of EB. This is the extreme of Ire. The one for Ire, they exist there. The one for EB exists there. Every other human person exists in between them on different scale of the balance. Some human beings are existing close to EB. Some human beings are existing close to Ire for whatever reason that has happened to them. But you see those Aweni B at any Ire, they are at the two extremes of the ladder. I hope you understand it. But when you meet them, you know and you won't forget. Exactly. They are very rare people, but when you meet them, you yourself, you know that you met, for lack of better words in English, let's use the word angels. You yourself, you know that you met in an angel in a human form. There's nothing anybody wants to tell you. Like, you will know that you have met good people, but this particular person is different. And usually they are once in a lifetime experiences. They just come and they go. Same with àwọn ẹni bí. Àwọn ẹni bí. But you see those ẹni bí, those ones, they don't like to go. If you give them space, they will sit with you. Àwọn àjẹgbọ́dọ̀ tó ń wá ẹni kúnra ni ayé wọn ti bàjẹ́, wọ́n wọ́n tó máa bá tiẹ̀ jẹ́ ni. Their own life is a mess already. They know there is no, they cannot walk. See, those are people that you meet. You are trying so hard to make them good people. You are encouraging them. You are doing, they just cannot. Every effort you put over their life to make it better is zero. They don't have anywhere they are going. They don't, it's like a signboard. Ibi tó máa wà nìyẹn. And it will continue to lead people astray. Ibi tó máa wà ló wà yẹn. No matter how much you drag it to say, he's not going anywhere. And a lot of you have met them. They've come into your life. You've wasted time and effort trying to make them the right person. Like somebody jokingly said, she said she did not find Mr. Right, so she went to the left and took Mr. Left and dragged him to the right. Some of you are trying to drag NEB into Ire. It's not going to happen. You are the one that will lose eventually. You will not sit down there and be saying, after everything I did for you. What? Nobody's saying you to do anything for them. That's what they have come to fulfill in this life. Just leave them. Wake up every morning and hold your ear and say, bí mo ṣe ń jáde léni, Elédùmarè má jẹ́ kí n kan ẹni bí. Ẹni títí ẹ ti bàjẹ́ tó ń wẹ́ni kúnra, Elédùmarè má jẹ́ kí n kàn wọ́n. Elédùmarè má jẹ́ kí n bá wọn tò. Tí n bá dẹ̀ tí ń bá wọn tò lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ tá a wà yìí, orí mi àtẹlẹ́dàá mi, eject them out of my life. Place your hand on your ear and every morning and say, the EB people in this life, may I never find them. May I never have anything in common with them. May they never find me. And if for some magical reasons you have found them and they are existing with you, may your Ori reveal them and push them away. And please, when your Ori is revealing them to you, take that definition and that revelation as true. Some of you, you have so much goodness in you, you refuse to see anything other than good in people. Until you are a good person, but open your eyes. The world around you is not like that. When people teach you who they are, take it like that. When people define themselves to you, take that definition. What are you looking for? Over and over again, Yori has shown you who this person is, but because it's your blood, because you have history together, because you are this, because some of you, you have created an enabling environment for this wickedness and when it be to continue to stay with you. Some of you have created an environment that they are now comfortable. They don't want to leave. Meanwhile, the Ire part, the moment they are done with you, they move to the next person. And it also they keep going like that from one random person. But you see NEB. When they find something that works, they sit down there. They don't leave. They continue to perpetrate until they make you yourself NEB. They will show so much negativity around you until you become like them. They will continue to broadcast that their negativity. You see, let you and I pause and see what is going on in social media space. The world is becoming more and more negative, more and more callous, more and more, I don't know, like humanity is draining by the day. See, there are some people that are perpetrating and re-echoing that thing. It has become normal for people to be in relationship and be nonchalant. We are now competing nonchalancy. Aura for aura. They do this to me. There are some NEB sitting down somewhere that is echoing these things and using everyday people to continue to echo every form of negativity and wickedness. Their own part in life is to make sure that their energy suppresses the ire. Ire does not come out in force trying to suppress anything. No. Somebody says, well, I never thought of asking my Ori to keep. There's a prayer I learned. Those of you that know me, there's a prayer I pray. I say every morning, Olodumare, keep my path from wicked and unreasonable people. Those of you that know me for years, you will know that that's my nature by royal art. You have known me for like a decade. Since when have you heard me saying that? Even before I became an Ìyánífá publicly, I say it. Eledumare, keep my path from wicked and unreasonable people. Because in this life, there are wicked and unreasonable people. You cannot reason goodness with them. That's the way they are. Leave them alone. There is no point trying to understand them. Leave them alone. That is their existence. This definition says EB is inside of them. They carry it. Is their existence. Just leave them alone. Leave them alone. You cannot convince them. You cannot talk to them. They will overpower you. You know when people say that, don't allow this generation to change you. Those are the people they are talking about. This generation is echoing it. Those people are they are using social media to echo everything they are doing subtly. It will come to you as something that makes sense. But at the end of the day, when you reason it with the ire that is in you, it doesn't make sense. How do I love somebody and the person sends me a message? And I see their message and I tell myself, I'm not doing anything. And I tell myself, I'm not going to reply them until after 2 hours. What's wrong with you? Are you not an adult? Are you a child? If you are not a child and you are not if you are a child and you are not matured enough to handle relationship, don't handle it. Relationship is for mature people that know what they want and they go after it. I have 3 million in my account, but if I want to buy a gift for my boyfriend, his handkerchief and singlet, what do they call people that are doing cultural dance in Igbo land? People that do cultural dance are the ones that I know that wear boxers and singlets, white boxers, white singlets. They will now start dancing like this. Your boyfriend is not a cultural dance. The only thing you can buy for. Why did you choose him as a boyfriend? Why did you decide to date him? I'm just, why? Why are you putting yourself in this kilo shele? What's wrong with you? What is wrong with you? You are with somebody. Every 2 seconds, you are checking their phone. I have to monitor this man. I know the way men are. Auntie, it's not necessary. Atilogu dancers, thank you. Auntie, it's not necessary. You are not in a relationship. EB is the one that has pushed himself to you. Every man you see on earth is a cheat. Every man. So the moment you enter into a relationship, you have become FBI. Unpaid FBI. You are looking through his phone. You are trying to see what he's doing. As an adult human being that has sense, that is mentally stable, the moment that you feel the need to constantly be checking on your partner, you are not in a relationship. You just like to stress yourself. You are a stressed human being that is looking for stress under the guise of I'm watching my partner. There is something wrong with you. There is a trauma inside you that you are just looking for something to cover it up. Ìyánífá, you don't understand. The men in this society, they leave him alone. Because why are you as a human being, adult human being, subjecting yourself to a situationship that requires you to be watching them? If he says the name of somebody with tailor, with mechanic, you want to speak with the person. I know, men, that's the way they are. They will say their girlfriend's name is mechanic. The moment you feel the need to do that, why are you there? That's the question I want to ask. What are you still doing there? Don't you love yourself? You don't like peace of mind? You don't like sanity? There's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with you. You are the one that needs to go and fix what's wrong with you. Fix your insecurity, fix your low self-esteem. When you have fixed that, first of all, you will stop attracting people that are doing that with you. And the moment you are with somebody and you find out that they are aching your head over, he told you that he was going to his friend's place, you found out he was in club. The next day, he told you he's sending money to his mom, you find out he was sending it to his ex. Once you see those 1, 2, 3 things, you will, because you now have self-esteem, you have healed from insecurity, you will take yourself out of the situation. And when they call you to say, babe, we have not spoken in a while. See, as much as I love you, I hate to be put in a situation where my partner tells me something and I have to do something else. And I have to find out something else. I don't have the strength to go from one place to another. Sorry, I need to attend to this. Okay. You will tell yourself that it's not something I want for myself. It doesn't make you a bad person. Some people will cope, but I don't want that for myself. And then you now take that as an excuse to, if the man asks me out, I will take 2 years. Yeah, take 2 years to find out, by all means. But you have already accepted to be in the relationship. You are now doing this. If he doesn't talk to you in 2 days, you two will go off for 2 weeks. But if you don't like the fact that he doesn't talk to you, he hasn't spoken to you in 2 days, can you communicate as an adult person that has sense to say, I don't like the fact that for 2 whole days you didn't communicate. Oh, this is the reason I couldn't communicate. Let them know that in between that, you can find out time. I know you are busy at work, but it doesn't take you more than 30 seconds to say, hey babe, today is going to be a very busy day, and this and this and this. That's all. That's all. Communicate it with them. And if it has become a pattern with them and you don't want to, just go. Which one is, I'm waiting for the day I'm going to do my own back? Is either you are not matured enough to handle relationship, or there's something wrong with you. So we talked about 4 different types of things when exactly what I'm saying. Many people crave these mind games, and the moment you are craving these mind games, it is you that something is wrong with. See, don't cover it up with Ìyánífá, you don't understand what dating in this generation is. No, dating in this generation is dating people like you. It's people like you that are in this generation. All that mind game is another human being like you that is doing it. It's not as if this generation fell down from the sky. They are everyday people like you. There's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with you. The need for all of these things. You are now hiding behind. No. Fix your problem. Fix your attachment lives, your attachment styles. Fix it. So the moment you spot it being projected to you, you are able to take yourself out of it. You can take yourself out of 200 before you find the right person. By all means, continue to take yourself out of something that doesn't work for you. Something that is not mentally okay for you. Don't hide behind that's the way this generation, you also enjoy it. Until you look into the mirror and tell yourself the truth, you enjoy these mind games. Some of you cannot be in a relationship that is calm. When a man is so calm, Ìyánífá, when a man is so calm, start to suspect him. See, LAPD, NYPD is looking for you. You'll be a very good detective. Go and put that job, that action you have, that mindset you have, go and put it to work where they can actually pay you. You will earn money. FBI and CIA is looking for you. You will earn money. Take it out of everyday relationship. Put it to good use. Peace is your own definition of something is going on. And you think that man is the problem. Okay, continue. You are the problem. You won't lonely problem. And if you don't fix it. So we mentioned 4 things. Somebody had, Auntie Ajoke Golden Light, thank you for that. Every other person that sent in their gift, Ajay will continue to replenish you more and more. Lashe Idumare. So we listed out 4 things. We listed Ashishe, we listed Ibi, we listed Ewo, we listed Eshe. And we listed them under category of 4 different people. Somebody has asked me to repeat it again, so I'm going to repeat it. So there's a difference between, a person who made a mistake, a person who committed an offense, a person who broke his personal taboo, and a person who is inherently carrying negativity. So the people inherently carrying negativity and when it be, those are the ones we just talked about. So the problem was never that we had no word for sin. No, the problem is what they did with that word. When the missionary came, they needed a Yoruba container to pour their idea of sin into, and they picked up Eshe. They emptied out what it meant to us, the meaning of it to us, and they filled it with what they wanted to fill it with. And here is the difference. I want you to write it down one by one. In the borrowed religion, sin is a legal matter. It's a courtroom matter. It is a law. You break the law, you are now guilty. You need pardon. If you don't ask for pardon, you face the consequences of it. You say sorry and your record is wiped out. You walk out clean. That's their own definition of sin. Now, in Ifa, wrongdoing is not a courtroom matter. It's a structural matter. You are built in a certain way. You agree to a certain path. And when you act outside of that structure, something will bend, something will go out of place. And when that something bends, it does not unbend because you cried on a Sunday service. It does not unbend because you came to Ifa to say you are sorry. It unbends when you repair it. There is a cost that comes with repairing it. Guilt versus consequences. That is, you see, religion gives you guilt. Ifa gives you consequences. In religion, you feel guilty. Look at what I've done. I've committed adultery. I've sinned against God. I've committed a sin against the temple of the Holy Spirit that is my body. You feel guilt and you run to God with that guilt. You cry and you cry. They'd ask you, how many of you want to give your life to Jesus? You go out again this Sunday like you went last Sunday. You cry on the altar of salvation and then you receive. That is what religion tells you. And that is the reason people will not stop doing wrong. You see that structure they gave you is the reason people will continue to do something wrong. Because it's a performative act. You feel guilty, you ask for forgiveness, you're clean, your slate is wiped clean, you go out, you repeat. Rinse and repeat. You come back again, rinse and repeat. That in itself is the reason people will continue to do wrong. Imagine I saw a tweet a couple of years ago, still fresh in my mind. The tweet said, if I get to heaven and I find out that money ritual is not a sin, it will pain me. Think about it. That is coming from somebody that, if not because they say there is heaven and hell, he does not mind to go ahead and do money ritual. The reason he's not doing money ritual is not because he realizes that other people will be hurt in the process. It's not because he realizes that it's not because he realizes that there is something he will do wrong to himself, to his ori. It's not because he realizes that he will go out of character, out of line with Ifa and his destiny. No, it's because there is heaven and hell. So if he now gets to that heaven, finally gets there, and they say, money ritual is not one of the things. If they give him a second chance, he will come back into this world and do that money ritual. That's just it. So the reason a lot of black people have not unalived themselves is because religion says if you unalive yourself, you are going to hell. But you see that mental state that pushes a man to want to unalive himself, they are living it every day. Their mental state is messed up. Their psychological state is messed up. They are so depressed. The only thread they are hanging by is that they don't want to wake up in hell. And the moment they can tell themselves that they will continue to drag through life and not go to hell, they don't see the reason, the need to fix what is causing them to have that feeling. They don't feel any need to fix it. As long as they have not unalived themselves, they are better than the next person that is going through the same mental health issues like they are going through. So instead of unaliving themselves, they directly or indirectly unalive every other person and thing around them. Religion does not teach them to deal with the root of that thing. No. As long as you don't lie, you're good. As long as you don't steal, you're good. As long as you don't commit adultery, you are good. But you can do any other thing against your partner. You've seen men that will look at the woman's face, or a woman that will look at her husband's face. At least there are lots of women out there have never slept with anybody. What else do you want from me that I've not done? As far as they are concerned, the moment they have not been intimate with another person, that is it. They can be emotionally attached with another person. They can flirt around with other people. They can give more attention to another person outside than their partner. They can value and respect another man outside than their husband. They can place Daddy Geo like this and water their husband like this, as long as they have not committed adultery that somebody caught them. There's nothing wrong, because that is what is in the commandments. The commandments did not say thou shalt not emotionally abuse your wife. So you can emotionally abuse your partner and look at them in the face and say, yes, everything I'm doing is right. That is what religion has done. Let me read the comments that has been. Someone says Satan has his purpose. Because no one can go through hell on earth and still go through another hell. Because one can go through hell on earth and still go through another hell. Exactly. They are seen everywhere and every angle of life, even if they don't know it. I see you. At least I didn't bring you public shame. Exactly, that part. It may seem that you are going through something similar. God is a tool they use to enslave others. Exactly. Kneeling for pastors and rubbishing their husband. There is no hell or hell. Everything is your mind. Thank you so much for your comment. Exactly. You do all of these things, but you can boldly say, as at least nobody has caught you. Your partner reads through your conversation with another person, and they're like, ah, babe, how can you do this? What is it? Can't I talk to somebody else again? Now, they are suppressing a feeling inside them. They know that thou shalt not commit adultery. They don't want to go to hell, so they don't commit adultery. They find other ways to express it. They are sharing intimate pictures and videos, but they will still stand on, I've not committed adultery. Bring anything. I can swear with the Bible, I've not committed adultery. Yes, let's even say yes, we know you have not committed adultery. But what of all of these things you're doing? All of these things is coming from the same place adultery is coming from. But because you have not outrightly done the act, religion will cover up for every other thing. If the woman complains too much, that's what the pastor of their church and Mommy Gio will say, Sister BC, you better be grateful to God. Look at men out there sleeping with other women. Your husband is not doing that just because he's texting somebody. What if? That is it. That is it. Any other thing other than that. And where that is coming from is the same place where adultery is coming from. Nobody accidentally gets intimate with someone, which is why I love that act of intimacy. You don't accidentally just get into bed with someone. There are plans. These things happen. You will start by texting them, giving an address, a location. There is a process. And the moment that process happened, adultery is the goal, is already there. If they catch you halfway in that process, adultery has not happened. But let pastor come today and say, we just found out in the original scriptures in Israel that thou shalt not commit adultery is not there. You'll be surprised. You will be surprised. You will be surprised how many of your pastors and your bishops and all of that are ready to jump into bed with somebody else. The only thing that is keeping them, those of them that have fear of hell, that's the only thing that is keeping them. Instead of us to deal with where that thing is coming from. Why does this person, why can't somebody be faithful to someone? Let's sit down and talk about it. Some people just naturally get tired of people. Like 6 months into this relationship, I'm bored. I need something else to spice up myself. Now, people, if you have been studying now, and let me say this, if you have been studying people with ADHD, they have the tendency to just get bored of certain things. Not like they don't love that thing again. Not like they don't love that person again. They just get bored. Now, if you are dating that kind of person, you sit down and you have a conversation. The moment you notice that your partner is getting bored, do something to spice up your relationship. Do something to spice it up. Some people are just wired in a certain way, even their own projects that they are doing. If I open my project sheet for you right now, I have 18 books that I'm writing at the same time. 5 of them almost completed, some halfway, some. I have been diagnosed with ADHD for a while now. So I can start up, I can have energy today, like I can finish 5 books in a single week. The energy comes like I'm 50% in one body. The moment that stimulation is not there, the dopamine has gone. I'm looking at the work like this and I'm like, God, let me just find something. So you find me in new projects per time. It affects every other thing around me. I can get bored of your relationship. I can just get bored of you, like, okay, what's there? What else is there to you? Can you just move away? Let me look for something else that is exciting. Now, if you are dating somebody like that, you know that the moment I tell you, babe, see, I'm bored, I just want to travel. I just want to go to Dubai, go to Qatar, you see me plan vacation 4 different countries in 2 weeks. Know that this man is getting bored. She needs dopamine from somewhere. Hop on the plane with me and let's go. I've come to understand myself, which is why I said we are bringing this conversation from yourself. Now, there are a lot of people out there who have used ADHD as an excuse to go from one place to another. That's just the way they are wired. But when you have a conversation with yourself, this is the state of my mind. This is my mental state. How do I help it? I do the same thing with work. That's why you see that, for those of you that have been following me from the days of Facebook, about 18 years ago, at least, yeah. I started business on Facebook 19 years ago, yeah. For those of you that have been following me there, you know that I engage in things that have diversity. When I was doing importation and exportation, I was teaching importation. I had a group that people will come together and import. I was teaching exportation. I was traveling to those countries. How do you sell to this country? How do you sell? I have to have diverse things that I'm doing under one thing. I cannot stick with one thing. So that in case I get bored of teaching classes, let me go and pop into the group where we are importing and exporting. Let me pop into the group where we are meeting up with suppliers. Let me pop into, because I'm wired like that, I understand myself. I'm not going to use that as an excuse to go and mess around. And the people that work with me understand that. Those that are on my team, ask all of them per time, how many projects are they working on? The moment I call you and say, what are you doing with the book I asked you to design the cover and everything? Yesterday, I just asked them to go and fix a course. Today, I'm asking for a book. They already understand that my dopamine for the course has gone down to 2%. My dopamine for the book has risen to 1,000. That's the direction we are going. So you understand this. You find a balance to it. Whoever it is that wants to stay with you will understand that this person is wired this way. You have a conversation because there is a root cause where that thing is coming from. And the moment you understand the pattern of yourself, you know how to direct it into good things. That's why I cannot date somebody that stays at home. I cannot date somebody that is like a stay-at-home person working from home. I will be bored out of my head of them. I cannot. No matter how much I love you, I cannot. I need somebody that has activities in their life. So the day I'm doing my own activity, you are doing your own. After a while, I will miss you. Then we come back together again and we see each other. I cannot be a full housewife and my husband, I don't want you to, the H word. You will not like the part of me that you will see. I just cannot. I will just wake up one morning and run away from you. Because it's like you are beginning to enter into my nose and you are, no, don't do that. Let's breathe as adults. Let's breathe. Go, do your thing. Go to your work. Take your contract. Do it. By all means, find something else aside of for me that gives you life. Get a job, build a career, get a pet, have an NGO. Do something with your life. And then I'm also doing something with my life. And the day we miss each other, that's the way it works for someone like me. And you know the flip side of it, if you have met people with ADHD, they are so loving, so loyal, they can stick with one thing. The moment they believe in one thing, they stick with something. So one moment, I'm all over my partner. I'm like, don't go. If the person wants to go from here to the door, I will follow them. Like, babe, sit down. No, I just want to follow you now. Sure, you don't allow me to follow you. You will follow everywhere. But the moment my dopamine has been exhausted over that, I just want to be by myself and do my work. And my partner will say, babe, let's go out together. I don't feel like going anywhere. But we talked about this last week. I don't feel like going. I have work I'm doing. Or I just want to sleep. I just want to lie down. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to do anything. I just want to be here. Now, if somebody is dating someone like me, then you take that as an excuse. My wife doesn't want to follow me. Let me go and find a woman outside. You are the one that is in trouble. I'm not responsible for that. Because we had a conversation before we came. In those moments, my love, find joy in that thing that you're doing and go and do it. Go and do it. It's not a problem for me. I'm not angry. Just give me time to reboot. Give me time to refuel. Let me refuel my dopamine again. The moment I refuel it, even the places that is not necessary, I'll follow you. That's why I said with Ifa, it starts by knowing yourself. Now, society has coined a name for this type of people. They call it ADHD. But if I sit down with my Odrifa and I break my Odrifa for you, you will see it there. My Odrifa has said it categorically. Don't stay in the same place for too long. Don't do the same thing for too long. Ifa forbids it for me. Because it goes up like this, then it starts to decline. Society and medical science of today calls it ADHD. That's the way they've diagnosed it. And if you look at it and look at your Odu, they go side by side. It's not a mental condition. You are not a mad person. You are just a different human being like other people are different. Your Odu says it is inside there. Auntie Kimi, thank you so much. She said my Odu described my ADHD. I was the one that broke down her Odrifa for her, that did Aishefa for her. So I can boldly tell you what it is. If I already said it, which is the point of this conversation. The moment you have that personal conversation with yourself, you know yourself, you know the ori and the destiny that you picked. You sit down and you analyze yourself. You fix it. You understand it. You know the parts that you cannot fix. You follow the instruction of your life. It is what it is. Someone says, I have ADHD. Please, what can be done? If you are medically diagnosed, you can ask your healthcare provider what you can do. There are different variances of ADHD. There are different percentages of it. Some people are hyper, some people's own are little. So I'm not able to just give a general what do I do for everybody. But for me, I've come to understand myself and I channel it into successful things. I channel it into my work. My downtime, I channel it into rest. The moment my body is shutting down from, I'm not excited about anything. I did it yesterday. I told my partner, I said, I don't feel like anything today. I'm not excited about anything today. If I act in a certain kind of way to you, I'm sorry, it's not me. This is just what I feel. You can come back home and meet this house as a mess. That's what's going to be. It is what it is. I don't feel like doing anything. And I was there. I barely sleep in the afternoon. I lie down on the couch, put on a very boring movie, and I just slept. I didn't feel like doing anything. And the moment he called and he said, I'm on my way home, I was like, okay, 2 minutes, excitement has come, let's go together. And I'm sure he's wondering in his mind, I spoke with this person 2 hours ago and they sounded like the world was going to end. 2 minutes later, I couldn't even walk. I told him, I have work that is staring in my face, I cannot. And then there was a spark of excitement. It was a new project that we had talked about. The spark of excitement just came and I took my iPad again and I started. And I was walking and that's how the day ended. I've come to understand myself. So I will not, people that cannot handle somebody like me, I know the kind of people that can handle me. I cannot marry a tech bro that sits down in front of the screen every day and his work is just on the screen every day and I have to see him every second of the day. I cannot. No matter how good of a person he is, he will literally drive me crazy. Because the way my brain is wired to handle certain things, I just cannot understand why somebody has to be stuck in a particular place. But you see, when they say, you are in a long distance relationship, yes, that works for me. Because you have a life, you are somewhere. I have a life, I'm here. You are somebody that your work will take you to this, you're a contractor, you work on a ship, you're a pilot, you do different kind of activities that take you out. You and I have a chance because I understand myself. The days when I'm just in that state, I just cannot relate to anything and anybody. Babe, please, can I go? Can I go? Like, when I met my partner, we both sat down to talk about it that, see, it's okay for you to, it's okay, sorry, we both agreed it's okay for us to have our different spaces. So you see, I'm that kind of person that we will have our bedroom in our house. We are both allowed to have different bedrooms where we can exist by ourselves. I cannot be in a relationship with you where myself will be erased. I'm still a human being. And two does not become one. We are not becoming one. We are two different people on the same journey, walking hand in hand. I will now come to you, I will now lose myself. It's not going to work. But for some people, it works. There are some people that you meet who, the moment they marry somebody, their identity is in that person. They just melt into that person and they build a beautiful relationship. Find the things that works with you. If not, you will continue to put yourself in a place that sin will not be in. It will be inevitable. Hurting your partner will be inevitable. I can't date somebody that is very touchy. Every little thing you're feeling like, you will not like me, but I'm a good person. So you, first of all, that's why I said the first definition has to be you by yourself. If you know me, you will know that there are certain things you just cannot. I'm a spiritualist, so because of that, I can sense things 1,000 miles afar. If I tell you as my husband that person, I don't like that person, I don't feel comfortable with that person, see, 90% of the time, just take it like that. But because I'm like that, I cannot be in a relationship with a man that feels Every idea has to come from me. I'm the Lord and the King, and I'm the one that has to establish the authority. Everything is me. I am the males, I'm the center, and you must revolve around me. I cannot. It doesn't make me a bad person. It doesn't make that man a bad person. It just means we are different. We cannot coexist. There are some women who don't have the calling that I have. They are not in this life to fulfill the destiny that I'm fulfilling. If they find a man that is higher than them, by all means, the identity of the man will absorb them. They need somebody to lead them, to guide them. They need somebody to see things ahead and warn them. They need somebody to direct their path. They need somebody to literally be the life for them. Some people are wired that way. Find those people, so that you will not be having all these clashes of problems. But the only way you identify that is you have first identified yourself. They have identified themselves. You can now sit down together and work, which is why I said when it comes to Ifa, is an individual and a structural thing. Thank you so much for that gift. It is an individual thing and a structural thing. It's not a general identity. It's not a one-size-fits-all. It's going to work for me. It's not going to work for somebody else. So when somebody says, a man is supposed to be a provider, a man is supposed to be a protector, in my world, if you are a man and the only thing you bring to the table, we are going to talk about that conversation again. My partner and I have been talking about it lately. I'm going to do an entire live streaming and talk about that. In a relationship, what do you bring to the table, both gender? In my world, as a man, if the only thing you bring to the table is I'm a provider, money, I don't need you. I'm not saying if you are Dangote, if you are Dangote, you are Elon Musk, you are Mike Adenuga, you are Kobe's daddy, you are in a different. But every other person that think that they have money, and the only thing you are bringing to the table of our marriage is money, I don't need you. Do you know why? By myself on my own, I have shitload of money. Yes, I have shitload of money. So you had better bring something else. So if you are like Dangote, you are like Mike Adenuga, you are like all those kind of people, and you have come, it's not money that you have brought. You have brought me the opportunity and the experience and the capacity to grow my own wealth. Yes, that's what you have brought to the table, not money to me. I cannot choose you because you are richer than me. I can only choose you because you are coming with more opportunities. You are coming with the experience of how I can also grow myself. By virtue of your name, if I mention your name somewhere that I'm your wife, doors will open for me to grow my own destiny. That is a value you are bringing to me, not just your money. Because I'm not the kind of woman that just wants to be giving money. So I married a rich man. Why? So that he can buy me a house. I can buy myself a house. Oh, but you can only buy a house that is 50 billion. Your husband can buy a house that is 150 billion. If I can afford a house that is 50 billion, I don't need a house that is 150 billion. I want the man to bring me opportunities that can make me have that. Then we can have a conversation. But on the flip side of it, there are some women that do not have this financial intelligence and financial capacity that I have. They are in this life. Their destiny is not like that. So they need a man that has money to provide for them. It doesn't make them bad people. They are not, they are just different from you. Exactly. Thank you so much, T. So for somebody like Dangote, he brings more than money. He brings his name. He brings his connections. He brings his experience. He brings his expertise. As a woman that is business driven, that's what I'm looking for. So I have asked this question a lot of times. Let's even digress a bit. I'm sure there's a reason Ori wants us to digress a bit here. As a man, what else can you provide? What else can you bring to the table? What else is your identity aside from money and intimacy in the other room? Aside from the fact that your manhood is 6 inches and you can raise another woman's child's leg and you can twist her like this and you can stay there for 1 hour and you can make the woman scream, aside from that and money, what else do you bring? Explain to me what other thing. What is it? What other thing do you bring? Because the society has reduced men, the definition of a man, to his money and what he can do in the bedroom. Aside from that, what do you, which is why when those kind of men, when an average man meets women like me, oh, you're too proud. At the end of everything you're doing, is it not inside the bed, inside the kitchen you're going to end up? Women like you don't respect me. You are not submissive. You are not. No, see, all of that thing is just projection. Because the moment they find somebody who is everything they are, what defines you as a man is the fact that you have money, Abi. When you now find a woman that has money, in your head, she's another man. There is nothing that gives you an edge over her anymore. You now begin to get uncomfortable with that woman. And the way to express your discomfort is calling her names and doing us. We see you. We understand where it's coming from. We are telling you to relax. Go and redefine yourself outside of money. Look at yourself and tell yourself, what else do you have? Thank you so much. If your money, by some magical reasons, if you lose money today, what is the reason that woman is going to stay with you? What is the reason that marriage will continue to go? What other thing do you bring? So as a woman, not to ask them that question is the reason they ask women. Now, I hope you are listening to this without the misconception of she's just being a feminist. I'm telling you real life situations. It's not a woman that you should be asking that question. As long as a woman agrees to be with you, there is one thing she's bringing: her ability to produce another life for you. You cannot do it. That you marry a woman and she's fertile, she gets pregnant and she carries to full term and she pushes out a continuation of your lineage and generation for you, that's enough. Show me something else you have that can stand side by side with that. Then the man will say, if that's the only thing you bring to the table, I will find another woman out there. That woman you are finding out there, that's what she's bringing to the table. By default, that is something that every woman brings to the table that you cannot overlook. Sit down with a medical doctor and ask them, somebody was making a video one time talking about reasons why they are not going to get pregnant, in the tune of the things that pregnancy has done for different women. That person tagged it as something. If you know what that video series is like, please let me know. Type it in the comment section. There's somebody, one person has been making videos. The person has gone to number 1,000 and something. The person is listing reasons why women should not get pregnant, and they are backing it up with different things that has medically happened to women over the course of years. If you know what that, the girl with the list, yes, the girl with the list. Go and read through that list and see what women stand a chance against. See what they are fighting. The moment they decide to take in your seed and get pregnant and keep that pregnancy. For every woman that got pregnant for you and didn't abort, these were the things they were faced with. Do you know the reason I'm using glasses? Because I am photosensitive. An acute stage of it is called photosensitive epilepsy. I wear sunshades inside my own house. Sunglasses like this, I wear it in my house. Me sitting down in front of all of this light is causing a lot of headache for me, and I have to be here for 3 hours. And I got photosensitive with my last pregnancy. For some magical reasons, it just came. I was never photosensitive. The doctor said, oh, it came with the pregnancy, it's going to go. My baby is 7 years old. It has not gone. My baby is 7 years old. It hasn't gone. I can't walk in a mall without putting on dark shades. You see people like me walking through the mall with dark shades. You think there's something wrong with it. How can this one be wearing sunshades inside the... Until I came to accept reality and I went to the doctor and got these glasses. I was wearing sunshades up and down, even inside my own house. It came with pregnancy. Exactly. So the question of what does a woman bring to me? A woman that has agreed to have a child, go through that risk and give birth to a child for you, and name that child your last name. They gave birth to a child for you. Everything I'm doing today, there is nothing about my name that reflects my mother's lineage. Yet that woman went through that stress to birth me. Yet she trained me. She's my spiritual anchor. Everything I know about spirituality was built on what that woman taught me. Yet there's nothing in my entire identity that reflects her, except I have to introduce myself and say, oh, my mother's family is from so place. This is my mother's family name. A woman does that for you. You are still asking, what do you bring to the table? Yet the only thing you bring is money. Oh. The only definition of you is money. Oh. So please, dear men, this is not an attack on men. This is a societal indoctrination that we must all fix. As a woman, as you are raising boys, let your son be able to define himself outside of money. Outside of, oh, I have 6 inches and I can go 25 rounds in 3 hours. Thank you so much. And I can go 25 rounds in 3 hours. Put that away. What else do you bring? The reason men ask, what do you bring to the table to a woman, is because you don't want a woman that is a liability. You don't want a woman that is uneducated. You don't want a woman that doesn't add any value to it. We are the women that add value. Oh, excuse me, by all means. We are the women that are educated. We are exposed. We are well-traveled. We are well-knowledgeable. We are super intelligent. We are those women that you are looking for. But when you meet us, we already have money. When you meet us, we can afford to pay men like you to come into our room and do massage with us and give us happy ending. Those ones, that's their job. So trust me, you see that guy that is doing more rounds than you, we can afford to get that. So what else are you bringing to us aside from that? We need to redefine men. We need to redefine our brothers, our sons, our uncles. They need to redefine themselves outside the concept of just money and intimacy. Money, let's put it like this. Redefine yourself outside of money and bula. Yes, I just said it. I can't believe I just said that word, but I just did. Redefine yourself outside those two. Then we can have a conversation. Then you can attract the kind of women that you want. Then the kind of women that you want will stay with you. Whether you lose the money or the money increases. Because if she's with you because of money, if that's the only thing you bring, she's going to find a man that is richer than you one day. If it is bola that you are bringing, somebody's own is bigger than your own. Somebody can go more rounds than you. Those boys out there, those lucky boys, they are in the gym every day training for stamina. That's the only thing they are offering. We can pay them a few dollars. They will be at the, in fact, some of them now, they say it's 2 Indomie and 1 egg. I saw that video on TikTok and I'm like, wait, what? Some of your brothers that have more skills than you is 2 Indomie and 1 egg. They will do the job, take transport fare and go. Because women are not on social media talking about it. Please, make sure that you are defining yourself beyond that. And that brings us back to our topic. The reason you will not do certain things is because you have defined yourself. Because you have defined the identity of yourself that is outside of what you can do or what you are not supposed to do to another person. You know, this is why I say I always want to have a script. Because if I don't have a script now, we have left the conversation to something else, but I'm sure you gained a lot from the digression that we did. Now, we were talking about the difference between feeling guilty and consequences, right? Now, you can feel guilty and nothing changes. You can feel no guilt at all and everything still changes, because consequences does not need your permission to operate. Issue does not need you to feel bad. Issue needs to keep a record. Àṣepamọ́ is not whether you feel bad about it or you feel guilty about it or not. Àṣepamọ́ is that you did something and we are keeping record of it for you. Now, let me give you the second difference, and this one is even bigger. In borrowed religions, they say we were born broken. We came into this world already a sinner. The baby has not even opened their eyes, has not offended anybody, has not stolen, yet the baby is carrying sin because somebody did something in a garden several thousands of years ago. Ifa does not know that person that they described as you are born into sin. Ifa doesn't recognize you like that. Ifa says you knelt in front of Olodumare, you chose your Ori. Ifa was standing there to witness what you chose. You came here with an assignment, with a set of things that you were meant to accomplish, and it was designed in your body to accomplish them. You did not come here broken. You came here aligned. So in Ifa, wrongdoing is not your nature. Wrongdoing is a departure from your nature. Do you understand me? Please keep clicking on your screen. Keep clicking on your screen. Keep liking, share, repost. Click on the plus sign to follow. Religion says you are a sinner by nature. You are born a sinner. You cannot escape it. That's where you are. It doesn't matter what you choose and what you don't choose. That's who you are by default. Ifa says wrongdoing, you become a sinner, quote and unquote, by going out of your nature. Ifa says you are born aligned. You chose a destiny. By default, you are born into that destiny. That destiny is revealed to your parents on the third day after you are born in what we call Akosejai. Your parents are supposed to guide you in that destiny. The day you begin to go wrong is when you go out of that destiny that was chosen for you. Now, how do you know when you go out of the destiny? You must first find out what that destiny is. If your parents were lucky enough and favored enough to know about Ifa and African spirituality at the time you were born, it was revealed to them through Akosejaye, Isentaye in your Odu. As you grow up, they share your Odu with you. You start to study it and get information about the Odu, your Ewo. What are you supposed to do? What are you not supposed to do? Where to live? Who to marry? What course to study? What kind of food to eat? What color to wear? What environment to live in? What kind of friends to have? What kind of marriage to have? What kind of social gatherings to go? Are you supposed to go out in the morning or at night? You find out what governs your own destiny and you start to walk in the line of it. Now, when you step out of line, you know when you are stepping out of line because you know the line. You know the consequences of stepping out of line because your Odu said it. It is not, see, it's not a function of the other person. The other person is secondary. Somebody says, I guess this is your culture, not all African cultures do this. Please go home and find out about your African culture and the spirituality of your culture. Find out in your culture how the destiny of a child is revealed. I will beat my chest to it. There is no form of ancient, let me put it like that, ancient, traditional and spiritual practice that does not have it. Whether you are in Africa or you are in Asia. I have visited quite a number of countries on the part of spirituality. Now, I'm not talking about what your people are practicing in the present day that is a mix and match of what westernization and colonization has done to them. I am saying what your ancestors practice as their ancient practice. There is none. Even in the West, they have it. where the idea of zodiac sign came out from. The moment a child is born, they know the day, the time, the minute, the geographical location where the child is born. They can start to tell you things about that child. So there is no African culture or tradition that does not have a means of revealing the destiny and the path of a person. If you come from places like Angola, where their entire tradition and culture had been wiped off, if you go back into history, you will find it. No, we're not talking about the day it was revealed. The day it gets revealed is secondary. The fact that it's revealed is the bone of contention. That is the topic. Whether it's 7 days, whether it's 3 days, whether it's 10 days, whether it's 1 year old, it is revealed. What is revealed is what is the point, not the time that it is done. Some people, even in Ifa, if you don't get it done on the 3rd day, you have an opportunity to get it done for you in your adult life. It is called Itefa. So for some people, it's not the 3rd day. For me, it wasn't the 3rd day because my parents were not practitioners of Ifa. But at some point in your life, in every African, every ancient tradition and culture and spirituality, it is there. It is there. That ancient tradition and spirituality is what is revealed in astrology. It's what is revealed in those readings that require the very moment you are born. A child that was born at 12 o'clock will have a different reading from a child that was born at 5 p.m. Take, for instance, the borderline between one zodiac sign and the other. A mother gives birth on, I don't know so much about zodiac sign dates, but take, for instance, let's say Leo ends on the 24th of August, take for instance, and the other one after Leo starts on the 25th. And a woman had given birth, she has a set of twins or triplets. She pushes out one and pushes the other one out maybe like a couple of hours later. They are falling on different paths. Their reading is going to be different based on the minute they were born. Is going to be different. That is how detailed spirituality is. That is how specific spirituality is. And in Ifa, that reading comes with the do's and don'ts in the life of that child. The thing that is considered sin for that child is different from their twin sister. Ifa will not read based on the time of your birth. Ifa will read based on your destiny. The ori, the destiny that the first twin picked, is different from the second one. That's why a mother cannot say, please, I have twins. Do reading for my twins. You can't go through someone that does astrology and say, oh, please, can you do reading for my twins? They will ask you different, exactly. The face of the moon plays a role. The face of the moon at the time of birth plays a role too. You see all of those things? They all contribute into your identity as a person. And that is the first thing you should identify with. That's the first thing you should understand. You see all these thou shalt not, thou shalt not, thou shalt not, they are secondary. The moment you identify with it, I greet you. The moment you identify it in yourself, nobody needs to tell you thou shalt not steal. Have you ever seen a set of commandments in Ifa? Any form of African spirituality that you've practiced, has your priest or priestess listed a set of commandments for you? The 256 Odu Ifa, does it have a set of commandments? No. Does that mean that there is no wrongdoing in Ifa? There is. But it comes from a personal place. When you settle within yourself, this is who I am. I'm a good person in this life. You understand what marriage means. You will not commit adultery. You understand what a human life is. You know the significance of ending a human. You know that if you end somebody's life in the physical realm, the life does not end. they just transform to another face. You know that person still continues to live, and that person in their other states can come after you. You will not unalive somebody. Religion makes us feel like if you unalive someone, you have ended the person's life and destiny. That's the end. I don't want this person around again. Let me unalive them and just end them. Spirituality teaches you that you cannot end somebody. They just move from one phase to another. And if you forcefully push them out of this phase into another phase, wọ́n ní ẹni tó bá fojú àná wò kú, ẹbọra bọláṣọ, means that if you look at somebody that has passed, someone that passed today, if you look at them the way you look at them yesterday, and you still look at them as a human person, by tomorrow, once it dear Bora, they have become a spirit, and they will strip you naked. So if you like, push somebody else to unalive them in this life. Ifa already teaches you what is going to come, so you will not do it. Nobody needs to tell you the 10 commandments. The government says, the government does not say. You understand these things. You understand that if you lie against somebody, bear false witness, and events start to, the moment you bear false witness against someone and they hold your false witness against the person, events start to spiral. You understand in Ifa that life as we know it is a bunch of, is ripple effect of a lot of things. You will not be the one to start something that will ripple to your children and your grandchildren. Look at your life today. If you understand life in Ifa, your experience today, you think is based on your choices alone. The experience you are having today is not based on your choice alone. The experience you are having today is based on ripple effect of choices of so many people. There are some things that was done that you cannot remember. Ripple effect of it is where you are today. When your mother was telling you, don't have boyfriend, go to school and study. Don't have boyfriend, go to school and study. Ogboyunu age 16, you stop going to school. Teenage pregnancy, you stop going to school. Nobody was sending you into school. The money that they're supposed to pay your school fees, they are doing what? They are spending it on the baby. Your mates have gone ahead, they've gone to school, they met people, had opportunities, you are looking at their life. You have a baby that you left in your mother's house. Your mother is taking care of the baby. You won't share house girl. You've not seen people that see their ex-schoolmates and they have to hide and pretend that they didn't see them. There was a video that was going around recently. The girl that did a recording while she was having a conversation with her mom, that her mom was saying that she's a stupid child, she's a useless, and the girl kept on saying, no, I'm not stupid, I'm not useless. How many of you saw that video in the Nigerian community of this black app? That video went viral. How many of you saw that video? The girl was talking about the fact that she went to tailoring school, her mother gave her just 80,000, she added more money, and she couldn't continue. You saw that video. You know, I told you, I mentioned it on my live stream that I was going to reach out to that girl. I did reach out to her, asking her what she wants to do, how we can support her and everything. And she said something, because in the course of the conversation, I was trying to encourage her that she shouldn't feel bad that her own mother is actually saying this. But that girl said something, which was what increased my level of respect for her. She said we cannot entirely blame her mother, that she too made certain choices that are wrong. There were times when she said she wasn't supposed to end up like this. She was supposed to go to school, study, become a graduate. She had uncles that were ready to help her if she had gone to school and became a graduate. But she said in herself, she told me by herself that, you cannot entirely blame my mom, that there were certain choices I made, and these are the consequences of those choices. All she just wants is her mother to give her a second chance. So that mother daddy was speaking based on somebody that, if the woman knew she was being recorded, maybe she would have mentioned some of the things that that girl told me. But we didn't see that part. We only saw a girl that was struggling to make it and the mother was complaining. But she told me herself. And if there's anything she wants, in fact, she even told me a lot of people had reached out to her and paid for so many things. She said what she wants right now is, while she's doing her training on the career that she wants. She wants to be able to raise money to help her mother because she knows she owes that to her mother because that woman has tried. Consequences. How old is she? She's 19. The girl said it in the video. I think she said she's 19 or 20 or something. A bit 21 or something. She's between the age of 19 and 21. She's already facing the consequences of that choice that she made. Those choices that she made just a while back. And her mother is here bearing part of those consequences. You think if she took turn back the hands of time, she wouldn't have done better? She would have done better, and that's not because of Bible. That's not because she's born again. Trust me, they are affiliated with one religion or the other, most likely Christianity, based on the side of the country where they come from. Why didn't Father forgive us for all our sins? Wipe away the consequences that she's facing the consequences now at less than 22. And her mother is also facing the consequences. Now, if she came from a knowledge of Ifa, of African spirituality, she would understand how consequences and ripple effects work. I love my mother, so I will not do certain things because I know that when it comes right down to it, this woman will still be there to pay for part of these choices. But as a child, she was taught that if we do anything wrong, we'll confess our sins. He's faithful and just to forgive us and to wipe it as new. What has been wiped as new for her now? What has been wiped as new for her right now? Those are the things that Ifa teaches us. Imagine that she was already told in her Odu, her parents have found her, and they say this is the path for this child. And they have explained to her the way we are explaining to our children in Ifa that if we go out of this path, Shege Pro Max, you will suffer. In capital letters. If you go out of the path that Ifa put you, you will struggle. If Ifa says do medicine and you are going to do law, you will struggle there. It doesn't matter how many generations in your family have been lawyers. Suffer is where you are headed to. They won't go there. You won't do it. You will choose to stay within medicine. And at the end of the day, as you succeed in your medical line, the parents that put you through school are happy. But if you decide, no, it's Lord, we are going to go and do, you and your parents, or you alone, you decide to do law, at the end of the day, nothing to write home about. Her result was lost in transit. They did not call her to bar for 3 years. The day she was supposed to be called to bar was when the National Museum got burnt. Something will happen against it. Do you know how the parents that paid you through school will feel? Consequences. Consequences. So it has to come from a personal state, like from a state of, someone says, Ma, can you explain the subjections of Ifa reading again, please? Like life, career. Yeah, it comes in through your, thank you very much. It comes in through your Itefa, when you do your Itefa. I think I made a video listing out the part of it. Hold on. Thank you very much. I in the last live streaming, I mentioned. So your old refer is the information that is revealed when you go for that divination about your life. As a child, it's called Akosejai. As an adult, it is called Itefa. During your Itefa, or if you are not ready or you are not able to do your Itefa, it is also called Ishefa. So if you get that Odu, I don't know of any other person, Ìyánífá ЭWÀ of Ifa College, I'm able to break down your Odu under about 28 different topics, touching on those things that you called your social career. So these are the list of ways I'm going to break your Odu. Once you give me your Odu Ifa, your core destiny, your core identity, we're able to narrate that. Your purpose in life, will narrate that to you. Your past life and karmic patterns, you will get that. You'll get your emotional architecture, you get your strength profile, you get your weakness profile, your fears, your health destiny. 1 minute. Your health destiny, your finance and your money part, you get that. Your business destiny, your career path, your relationship pattern, your marriage structure, The odus that you are compatible with, those are the people that you are compatible with to be friends with, to do business with, to get married to. Your friendship destiny will also be stated out. Your social life. Are you somebody that is supposed to be a night crawler? Some people, their ori is not active at night, their igbe is not active at night. If you go out and crawl at night, you have little or no protection. But some people, they are good to go. You need to find out what your social life is. Academics, what course are you supposed to study? About children, are you going to have just one child, 2 children, 10 children? Are you going to have your children in the same place? Are you going to have children that are likely to be XYZ? Ifa tells you all of this. Your spiritual calling, the location and the geography where you are going to live, where you are supposed to live, the environmental sensitivity, aside from a geographical location, what is the environmental sensitivity? New York is an entire geographical location, but there is Long Island, there is Manhattan, there is Queens, inside the same. Lagos is an entire geographic location. There is Ajegunle, and there is Lekki, and there is Banana Island, and there is Ikorodu. Those people today think they are in Lagos, but it's okay. Let's go in Lagos. Everything has to do with environmental sensitivity. If I will point that out, your destiny activation requirements, how to activate that destiny, things to avoid, your taboos and your AWOs, your future outcome projection. At this point that you have known Ifa, at the point when you did it, how can we project the future? Some of you will come to the realization of these things at age 40. Ifa is going to tell you, moving from here, how do you align back to where you're coming from? And then the last one, your reincarnations. Are you somebody that's reincarnated? What were you in your previous life? Why are you reincarnating in this life? What is there to do? So your Odufa is broken down under these 28 different topics, right? I hope I answered the question of that person that was asking me to break down. I think I answered your question. Someone said it's really painful that Itefa is not affordable for anyone. Yeah, you can do Ishefa too. And if you are on my... Hi, babe. Thank you. If you are on my... What's it called? If you are on my WhatsApp status... I see what you said you did. You took my cookies. I can see that it has reduced. If you're on my WhatsApp contact, from time to time, I post, from time to time when I'm able to help people on their journey, if I post it there. So maybe there will be like a reduction in price, or I just randomly pick people and help them with their Shefa and Itefa. We post that from time to time. When I was having my Oduinfa for this year, I posted that and a couple of people benefited from it. So if you know that you cannot entirely afford it, just send a message to the WhatsApp number that is showing on the screen right now. Add my WhatsApp contact. Continue to check up on the status once in a while. Some people can do their spiritual work and they have come back to say thank you to Ifa, and they want to support other people on their journey. So we get that from time to time. So all this you are mentioning, you do consultations, ma? Yes, please, we do. Send the message to the WhatsApp number that is on your screen. Yes, ma, you have answered my question. All right, so I've answered your question. Let's go back to our teaching. Thank you. So we're talking about the difference between you came into this world broken and you came in aligned. So in Ifa, wrongdoing is not your nature. Wrongdoing is a departure from your nature. Now, one system tells you that you are bad by default and you need to be rescued. Ifa tells you that you are aligned and you must not drift from yourself. So we have already talked about you identifying yourself. Somebody on YouTube is asking what's the WhatsApp number. Please, Nature by Royal Art, can you go to YouTube and type the WhatsApp number there? Or if there's anybody that is a regular streamer that has the YouTube, please post it in the comment section on YouTube. Thank you very much. And remember, you can't post it as a single number because the algorithm on that app doesn't allow that. So you need to find out what your AWO is, and stay away from it. A doctor does not give everybody in the hospital the same medication. They don't give you the same diagnosis. They don't give you the same prescription. The doctor gives you the prescription that is meant for you based on what he found out about you. Ifa gives you what is meant for you based on what is revealed about you. Now, your first covenant is with your Ori, which is the concluding part of this. Let's go to the foundation of this. Before you were a wife, you were a person. Before you were a husband, you were a person. Before you were a student, you were a person. Before you were somebody's business partner, somebody's pastor, somebody's daughter-in-law, somebody's boss, somebody's follower. Before you were my follower on this platform, you are a single human being. You are a single human being who woke up inside of your body and had no one else in the room. It was just you. So now let's talk about that person you are before all of these things. AAA African Food Store, thank you so much for sending in that gift. When you lie down, you are going to be alone. The day you were born alone. You will have thoughts nobody else will hear when you are by yourself. You will make decisions at 2 in the morning when there is no other witness. You will sit down in traffic and have conversation with yourself that you will be ashamed that somebody else will overhear. That moment is the question we are asking. This is your first relationship. Your relationship with yourself, with your Ori. You sit down and have conversation with yourself. Yoruba says, Tioba, what's that Yoruba adage? Toba shekini kan to kota, toba shekini kan to kota, toba kun oni kan ko tero are pa. So, you know, when toba kọwájú sí ẹ kota, toba kẹ̀yìn sí ẹ tó kota, toba ku wọ́n nìkan kó tún èrò ara ẹ pa. The number has been posted on YouTube, so just copy it like that. +234 808 417 2309 in that order. We are not allowed to post it as a single number. Thank you so much. So Yoruba says, when they challenge you in front, when they come in front of you, challenge it. When it comes from your back, challenge it. But when you are left by yourself, there is nothing to challenge. You rethink your life. You sit down and you have a conversation with your spirit, soul, body, and heart and say, this thing I'm doing, does it make sense? You can defend it in the presence of the public. You can speak your way out of it. You can make, you can do gra-gra out of it. You can show that you are nonchalant. But when you are by yourself, sit down and rethink, does this thing make sense? Does it actually make sense? When you are by yourself, you have this conversation with yourself. You have worked on your marriage, you have worked on your career, you have worked on your public image, especially that public image. But if you have never sat down with yourself and asked yourself a question, who am I and what am I actually worth? There are a lot of things that you will go out and do and you think is because of somebody else. You think you are hurting somebody else because you have not defined yourself and what you are worth. In Ifa, that conversation has a name and a location. It's a conversation with your Ori where you are by yourself. Let me remind you what your Ori is, because some people watching here are new. Before you came into this earth, you went to the house of Ajala. Let me say it in Yoruba and translate it to English. Ìgbà tá ǹtí kọ́lé ọ̀run bọ̀ wá sítáyé, ayálé àjàlá, ìyẹn àjàlá mọ́rímọ́rí, níbi tá a ti yan orí, tá a ti yan ìpín, tá a ti yan ṣẹ̀dá. Ìgbà tá délé ayé, màjèsín ló bí wa, àrùn tí orí tá a yàn mọ́. Àwa ń lọ káàkiri pé kí ni mo wá ṣe ilé ayé yìí gangan? Wọ́n wá ní ẹnìkan wà ń bẹ̀ ńgbà tó yan orí o àti nǹkan tó wá ṣe ilé ayé. Wọ́n ní ẹnìkan wà ń bẹ̀. Ibo la ti máa rí tálẹ́ni yẹn? Wọ́n ní Fani. Ifá ni ẹlẹ́rìí ìpín. Ifá ló ṣẹlẹ́rìí ijọ́ tó yàn pín. Lọ́ba ní ká lọ sílé Ifá pé kí Ifá wá sọ ìpín tó yàn fún ẹ. Wọ́n wá dá Ifá nínú gbódù. Wọ́n sọ odù Ifá, wọ́n sọ ìpín àti ìṣẹ̀dá tó yàn. When we were coming from Ọ̀run to Ayé, Ọ̀run is loosely defined as heaven. Ayé is loosely defined as this earth. Before we came, we stopped by the name of the house of an Orisha named Ajala. Ajala Mori Mori, the one that molds our Ori and our destiny. Different Ori, different destinies. We stopped there to pick one and we came into this earth. When we were born into this earth, we were born as infants with little or zero memory of where we are coming from and what we picked. We grew up and started roaming around life. Who am I? What am I here to do? What is my destiny? What am I? What career am I supposed to do? Where am I supposed to live? Should I relocate? Should I stay in this country? A lot of questions. Then somebody met you, just like you are meeting Ifa College and Ìyánífá ЭWÀ today, to say, but there was somebody that witnessed the destiny that you picked. You are like, eh? Tell me about it. Somebody knows what I came to this earth to do. Please, let's go to the house of that somebody. And then you came to the house of Ifa, made an appointment with Ifa at Igbodu, and a divination was done. Ifa spoke about your entire destiny and it was handed to you. Then Ifa looked at you and said, no, I'm not just going to give you your destiny to go and figure it out. Ifa says, if at any point you want to refix and realign because you started working in a path that is not yours, based on the fact that you didn't know, Ifa says, èmi ni àtúnrí ẹni tí ò sunwọ̀n ṣe, èmi ni afinimọ̀nà. Ifa is the one that will show you the path. When you look in that destiny, you feel like, there's a part of this destiny that I don't really like. Oh, how can they say that I will have money, then later in life is when I will marry? How can my destiny say I can struggle before I have husband? You go to Ifa and fix it. Ifa says, èmi ni àtúnrí ẹni tí ò sunwọ̀n ṣe. I'm the fixer of the ori and the destiny that is not good. Ifa fixes it for you again. Ifa says, èmi ni afinimọ̀nà ọmọ aráyé. Ifa is the GPS of life. After fixing it, Ifa will start to guide you and direct you in the way of life again. Ifa will lead you in the path. You see how Ifa is complete. He doesn't only tell you, this is who you are, this is what you are supposed to be doing. He says, just in case you have missed it, I'm able to direct you in the path. Just in case there is a part of it you don't like, because you can say, if I was aware of the destiny, how could I have picked that I won't marry at 30? How can I pick a destiny that is only one child I'm going to have? How can I pick a destiny that this and this and that? If I say you are not okay with it, come, let's have a conversation. How can we fix it? Which one is not fixable? How do you accept it and live happily with it? Those are the definitions of Ifa, and that's what happens. Now, when you have had that conversation with your Ori, and Ifa has told you all of those things, and you have your Odu, and Ìyánífá ЭWÀ has broken down your Odu for you under those topics that we listed, Ifa says that you will now, that is the moment you know that your Ori is there. Your Ori is the only witness that will never leave you. It never sleeps. It never looks away. It never lies to you about what you did and what is coming ahead of you. Which means that your brothers, your sisters, your husband, your wife, those are secondary relationships. Your primary relationship is with your Ori. It is you and your Ori. And the moment you understand that, you are able to walk in a path that keeps you from hurting other people. The moment you understand that, you don't need a set of rules of this is what you are supposed to do, this is not what you are supposed to do. A child who was trained at home must sit down and train himself. Your parents have raised you to say, thou shalt not, thou shalt not. Then there comes a time in your adult life where you need to sit down and have a conversation with yourself. And have a conversation with your own self and retrain yourself. That's a conversation between you and your Ori to redefine yourself. This is who I am in this life. This is what I've come here to do. These are the things that I cannot afford to do because of where I'm going. It's like when you are trying to japa, you have put in your application for visa. You start to study about the school, about the country. This is what they do in this country. This is what they don't do, because you don't want to get deported. Thank you so much for that gift. You don't want to get into another person's country and get into trouble. You are not going to say in that country, I just came from Nigeria. This is not the way we behave in Nigeria. In Nigeria, if somebody that is 1 year younger than you talks at you, you can slap their face. If a little child does something, you will give them power. That's the way they do in my country. You don't go to another person's country and be saying that. You sit down, you analyze, how does it work there? Let me start to learn. There are certain things I can't do in that country if I don't want to get deported. As a man, you go to London, your wife is aggravating you. You don't say, you come here, bye, po, bye. You don't do that. You don't do that. You my yarn brain. You will borrow a little bit of sense from your ancestors and add it to your own before you head on that journey. The same thing. You have a conversation with yourself. This is what I came into this world to do. There is a moment where you tell yourself that I'm stepping out into the world as an adult person that has sense, and there are some things I will not do. Not because it's not accepted in that country, because I love myself so much. I don't want to be deported. I don't want to be jailed. I don't want to be tagged as a man that everybody should not take their children to their house. If you have pedophiles tendency, and people have been overlooking it for you in Nigeria and saying, ayé ló ń ṣe, they've carried it and dumped it on the end of èṣù. Wọn ò dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé abẹ́ṣọ́nṣó lórí lè èṣù olórí tá ń gbẹ́rù sí. Aṣọ́nṣó abẹ ni. They have packed all the responsibility of your wickedness in this life on top of èṣù. And you don't know that this is how èṣù's head is. It doesn't have a head where you can pack anything. Your load will follow you. If you go to abroad, you will adjust that tendency that you have. You will take yourself away from the environment where there are small girls. You will not go there and be behaving anyhow. If you know that you cannot stand a woman disrespecting you, you will get to abroad. You will not have girlfriend. People will be wondering, Uncle Kunle is 50, he has not married, because Uncle Kunle knows he does not have sense when it comes to women. Uncle Kunle knows that if a woman behaves to him in a certain way, he does not know how to resist the urge to slap her face. But he doesn't want to go and do that in the abroad so that they will not jail him and send him home. Uncle Kunle will not put himself in that situation. He will make sure that every woman is dating. We can date. In fact, Uncle Kunle will do only long distance relationship. He and his wife will see each other 5 days in 1 year. But when Uncle Kunle comes to Nigeria, he can have 20 wives and do anything with them. You see, that sense is what you will have. You will understand yourself, have conversation with yourself. Then you tell yourself, as I step into life, there are certain tendencies that I have. I will not put myself in that situation. It becomes a you responsibility because you are protecting you. The reason you will not commit adultery at that time is not because you don't want to hurt your partner. Yes, your partner is important, but it becomes a you thing. I don't want to commit adultery. I don't want to sleep with a random girl because I understand that spirits and energies can be exchanged. I understand that my Oduifa says I should not engage in it. My Oduifa says, if you betray somebody, Ile is going to fight you. And because you do not have the capacity to fight Ile, you will make sure that you walk away from betrayal. Even if you marry a man that cheats on you, you don't retaliate by cheating. Not because you are a good woman or you are born again or you love God or you love your husband. Because you understand that if you do it, the consequences will stare at your destiny in the face. Everything you have built for the last 20 years can come down in the drain in one single day. You will not do it. Not because you love them. Not because you are stupid and you cannot retaliate. Because you have sense. You know where you are going. That sense that you have abroad, that you are not being stupid, apply that sense. When it comes to driving in Lagos, my partner and I are always having this conversation that is like every road user in Lagos is acting like a lunatic. But you know the funny thing, the same people, the moment they land in Heathrow, the moment they land in JFK, the moment they land at the Qatar airport, Dubai airport, and they have to drive, they have sense. They have sense. They know how to drive properly. People know what they are doing. You are an adult human being, for heaven's sake. You are not mentally retarded. You know what you are doing. You think the reason they drive safe in London and in New York and in Texas and in Abu Dhabi is because they are concerned about the other road users. Of course, we are concerned about the other road users. But your primary reason is you don't want to be slammed a ticket. You don't want to go to jail. You don't want your driver's license to be withdrawn because there are consequences. That's why you will not do it. The road user is secondary. The people you are driving in the car is secondary. What you have come to that country to build is primary. Yourself is primary. That is the way Ifa teaches us. The moment your definition of sin becomes yourself and primary, every other thing will flow effortlessly. Try it and you will see what I'm saying. Look at all the 10 commandments. Now redefine it by this. Thinking about yourself, you have thought about your self-worth, about consequences that has to do with yourself. Tell me, which of those things on the 10 commandments are you going to do? Even the things that are not on the 10 commandments, you will not do it. If you understand the consequences that comes with adultery, it doesn't matter whether you love your wife or you don't love your wife, you are not going to do it. Even to sneak into, start chatting up a girl and all of that, you are not planning, or the person is even abroad, so there's no way adultery can happen. But you're just chatting up, you're flirting, you are doing all of these things, you are exchanging private videos, because you know that the moment you give this woman the idea that is love and she gets attached to you, and then she now finds out that you have a wife, she can hold on to that and say, you misled me, and go spiritual for you. Oh, dele jare wa jẹ̀bi ni. Because of that, you will not do it. Because of that, you will not do it. Because you know, if you are misleading a woman, deceiving her into saying that, me and my wife are separated, we have divorced, the only reason she's there is because she has a child. Some of them have even said their wife have died, the woman that is alive, pregnant and taking care of their children. You make this girl fall in love with you just because you want to get in between her legs, or just to fulfill the ego of a man. The day she finds out, and she understands the power she carries as a woman, and she stands on this ile. If you know what Orisha ile is, or she happens to hear some conversations of spiritual, and she stands and ijo to ba pe adabi fun e, I don't know how to say adabi in English with the weight that it carries. Adabi teni yi o ba se bayi. Àdàbí tí mo bá mọ̀ pé níyàwó ńlé lóko, tó bá pe àdàbí fún ẹ, tí obìnrin bá pe àdàbí lé ẹ lórí, ijó yẹn ló máa mọ̀ pé àdàbí jà ju ògùn lọ. The day a woman stands on spiritual principles and says, except if I knew that this man had a wife, except if I did not believe everything he said to me innocently, except if this person didn't lie to me, let this ile and these orishas and these spiritual elements, let them fight for me, is then you will realize that your village people don't have power. You hurt a woman in her element, and she decides to call every forces of elements against you. You will know that your village people are learning. A man that understands the consequences of that. I met a friend recently. In the course of our conversation, he kept saying, see, one of the reasons, the person is a musician in entertainment. So you know how music people in entertainment, fine looking guy, you will not even know that he has a wife. But he kept on saying, one of the reasons I can't do all this flirting around is because Ifa has told me that don't put a woman in a situation where she's able to say, nǹkan tó dẹ̀ ṣe yẹn dùn mí, what you did, it hurts me, you cheated me, you lied to me. His Odrifa says, don't ever put a woman in that situation. So even if he's dating somebody and something happened, he wants everything resolved. Shay, you are not angry. Please, if you are angry, just tell me how to make it up. He's not doing it because he doesn't want to hurt the girl. He doesn't really care whether the girl is angry like that. He's concerned for himself. He wants to make sure he doesn't have any unresolved issue with women. Your Odrifa says don't hold on to something that is not yours. Then you marry a woman, 7 years into the marriage, you people have not had children, and doctor says nothing is wrong. Then all of a sudden, your wife is getting married every year. The first thing that comes to your mind is, babes, I'm just saying, let's just have DNA for these children. It's not because I don't trust you, but you see, the speed with which these children just started coming. you will go and do DNA test, even if you do, because you want to make sure that you are not in possession of a child that is not yours. Whether you are aware of it or not, there are consequences. These things will make you more aware of your life and your choices. Those of you that your Odwifa says you cannot be intimately involved in more than one person at the same time, you will sit your partner, you will make sure that the person you are dating is not somebody that does that. See, this doesn't have anything to do with love. This is my life. This destiny that I'm building, I've worked at it way too long. Why do you think people in the media, people in entertainment, showbiz, people that are, their news is just everywhere, famous people, why do you think they guide and protect things around them? Because they know that one bad publicity can ruin everything. They are protecting their loved ones. It's not primarily out of love. It's primarily out of protecting themselves. Primarily out of protecting themselves. You don't want your wife to go to the public place and say, my husband did this, my husband did that. If you are in the military, you know your woman must not go and report you that you raise a hand against her. The reason you will not raise a hand against her is more than just I love you. You know the consequence. You know what it can do to everything you have been building. The moment you start to see life from that point, you see all these things they call sin, is easy for you to handle. Nobody even has to tell you, Iwapele says you should have integrity. Sit down with your Odu and find out the consequences of lack of integrity. You will not do it. Except, of course, you don't care about yourself. And if you don't care about yourself, we have established that fundamentally something is wrong with you. You are not okay. So you are going to move on with life from that point. Have a conversation with yourself. Who are you? What is your self-worth? What value have you placed on yourself? I've placed so much value on myself that there are some places you will not find me. There are some conversations you will never find me. I'm bigger than that. I'm way past that. It's not pride. It's a definition of yourself. You will never find me at this my adult age. I'm not married. Is that okay? I'm in a relationship, but I'm not married. So imagine me as a single, successful woman like this. Then I now want to engage in, I want to have a relationship with someone. I'm now sleeping with somebody's husband so that we can now be hiding. Really? So at what point do I want to be adult enough to say I can do what I want to do with my full chest? You will not find me there. I place too much value on myself. There are certain things I will not do. At this point, I will date you and we cannot talk about it openly. Like, not that we're putting a relationship in public place or you are hiding somebody. But I cannot speak about you because I don't want somebody else to find out so that they will not. Really? When do you want to grow up? I thought when we were younger, we all agreed that we wanted to grow up so that we can have sense. So that we can have sense and behave like people that are matured. You will be on the phone gossiping about people, things that you cannot say in front of them as an adult that has sense. So what if somebody is recording you at the other side and the conversation, these are things I ask myself before I have a conversation. What if this conversation leaks out? Am I able to beat my chest to it and defend everything I'm saying without feeling stupid? If the answer is no, why are you in that conversation? Why are you in that conversation? Why are you doing something that you know that there is a chance that it can ruin you? Why are you living on the edge? Why are you walking on the edge of a cliff hoping that you don't fall when there is an entire space that you can walk with confidence and your dignity intact? Because you have not had certain conversations with yourself. Until you have that conversation with yourself and your worry, you are just gambling with every other thing in life. As a person that is pursuing success, there are certain conversations you have with yourself that, yes, I want money, yes, I want financial freedom, but there are some things I will not do. This name and image that I'm building, it is too valuable to every other person. We call it pride. There are some things that I will not do. It's not because I care about you, it's first of all because I care about me. Because at the end of the day, my Ori has said I will make a success in this life. So there are some things I will not do just to cut corners, something that I know that I'm still going to get. Why would I belittle myself and drag myself in the mud to get 1 million when I know that what I'm holding in my hand, if I stay with it, it can give me 1 billion? Is primarily because a lot of you don't know. You are not convinced that you can make success in life. That's why you will do anything, sell yourself, your name, your integrity, drag your destiny in the mud just to be able to get money. Because as far as you are concerned, that's the only way you can do it though. I've had conversations with people and I hear adults say things like, there's somebody that can make it in this life without, see, there's some kind of money you can't have without that you cannot get to if you don't engage in something illegal, something that is not straight. There's some kind of, I don't even know how to help you. Because if that's what you already believe, you have already set a tone for your life. You are wondering why you are struggling and you are just making bare minimum. Because the conversation you have had with your subconscious is that everybody that is making it in life, they did something. I'm not ruling out the fact that people do shit to get money. People do it. But have you had a conversation with yourself to know that success can actually be pure and legal? If you have not accepted it and identified it inside you, it cannot be your reality. And you will end up just doing anything. Yes. You see your friends who have not made anything in life. You see the confidence with which they go through life. You are wondering, I don't know, maybe you have one uncle that's promised you things, but at this point, let's just do anything. It doesn't matter. People are doing it. By the time we make our first few millions from it, we will now grow the other one from there and everything will be fine. No, everything will not be fine. Consequences will wait for you. Àṣepamọ́ ni. It is you are doing it, is they are piling it up for you. It will speak for you one day. I didn't go deep into the story. I just saw a summary of it. The group of Nigerian women, I think 3 of them, that have been talking about themselves. Somebody is trying to call out somebody and all of them are talking about how somebody slept with a politician, one governor did something. And I'm just looking at them like this. Now everything is out in the open. One of them has a makeup company, one of them has a boutique, and everybody has been wondering, what are they doing to fund this lifestyle? As an adult person, you slept with somebody and then it comes out to the media and you cannot beat your chest with the fact that, yes, I did. So why are you an adult? Why are you an adult? How did you earn? Some of you think being an adult is just by age. You have crossed 18. How did you earn adulthood? That man that offered to, that governor that offered to sleep with you and give you money, you could not have a conversation with him, sir. I have a business idea. Just give me something. Let me have something. At least do something just in case our affair gets into. We are 2 adults that we have chosen to have an affair with each other. There's nothing criminally wrong with it. But at least let me have something to defend my pride and my ego and my name if this thing ever comes out into the public place. You don't have any value for yourself. As long as you have made the money, you now come out with your stupid ego and be saying, what's the big deal? Everybody is sleeping with somebody. When you are by yourself, you know there is a big deal. We can never look at you the same way again. If you come tomorrow and say you have opened an oil company, you cannot speak to us. We cannot listen to you. We already know what you do. Is that the legacy that you are building? At the end of all the money, is that what you want attached to the money? It's not. Let's have that conversation with yourself. And it goes beyond relationship. It goes beyond money. It's everything that you do. It's everything that you do. If everything around you is just defined by financial status, you are in trouble. You have a problem that you need to fix. You are not qualified to be called an adult human being. You are not. Society can be praising you from outside, but when the consequences come, they will not be there to share it with you. And you know what is sure, the consequences will always come. Forget heaven and hell. That's a lie. You will live your hell loop in this life. You will go through it in this life. A lot of you don't know that your faves, that all of you are literally worshipping, that you are, if you know what life is for them behind the curtains. Oh, nifiti motoro. If they pray for you, you cannot say amen. If you know how many, don't let's go there. If you know how many innocent people are groaning in pain by virtue of that money that they are throwing in your face. If you know how many homes have been damaged, how many children will never have a good relationship with their father because your faves are sleeping with their daddies. They will not pray for you and you will say amen. If you sit down with yourself inside, that's not who you are. Trust me, that's not what you want to be identified with. We have become a generation of people that idolize people we should be ashamed of, people that we should be crying out for help on their behalf. And you think because there's nothing that has happened to them ever since they have been doing their Yahoo, look at them flaunting money around. If I pray for you that what they are going through in private, may you experience it, you cannot say amen. The part of their hell loop that they are not showing you, they cannot show it to you. It's social media, is controlled content, is packaged content. And those ones are the yardstick that is driving you. If this person can buy a car, if this person can buy a house, by all means, buy every luxury thing I love luxury. I work hard for it. But that first definition of yourself, in the course of my being an Ìyánífá on this journey, I've experienced certain things, and I told you. There was one Babalawo that I was working with at one time, respected person who contributed immensely to my journey, only for the person to call me that day and say, there's one power that I want to give you. Somebody had posted a question in capital letters. I didn't read out your question. I saw it. I'd assumed I would go back to it. But a lot of comments have pushed it up right now. Please, if you're still on the right live streaming, please ask your question again. If you've asked a question that I didn't respond to, please ask your question again. The person said, there's one power that you need. That power is going to make you X, Y, Z, A, B, C. But I can only transfer that power to you if I sleep with you 3 times. I was there, I was quiet. We're in the car, he was driving, I was sitting next to him. I just went quiet. And while I was quiet, I wasn't thinking about the response to give him. I'd had that response to that question decades before that day. And I told him, I said, I respect you so much. I wish you didn't cross this line. I'm not able to look at you the same way again. He was like, no, you can go and think about it. I said, any woman that you ask this question, and she said she wants to think about it, she's stupid. If she really wants to think about what her decision is going to be, there's something going on. And I told him, I said, the response I'm going to give you, I didn't have to think about it. I have had this response years ago, decades ago, and this was the day that I got the answer to that question. I was born in the early 80s. I'm going to be 44 this year. So for those of you that lived, that had childhood around the same time that I had childhood, you can relate with this. There was a time when we were younger, when we were in primary school and secondary school, where it was the order of the day. If our aunties wanted to get a job, they have to sleep with the person that is giving them the job. Somebody promised them a job and said they should sleep with them before the job. It was the norm. In fact, Mount Zion made movies around it that time. If you remember one of these, there are movies at the time when somebody wanted a job, the boss slept with her, she got pregnant, and then she was supposed to get married in church too, and then they found out that, all of that. It was a norm around that time. And it was that time that I sat down and I had a conversation with myself that if I'm in this situation, what would I do? Wounded Heart, thank you so much for that. That was the title of the Mount Zion movie. So it was a thing at the time. That was why they even had to make a movie. I asked myself, I said, if I were to be in their situations, what would I do? And I gave the answer. I will tell myself that that job is not available. I will just tell myself that they've given the job to somebody else. That's the excuse I will give myself. So once I zero in my mind that they've given that job to somebody else, I don't have any reason to sleep with you. I shall not sleep with you if there is no job. I'm not going to do it. Not because Jesus said I should not do it, but because that's not just going to be me. Because I know the moment you say yes to that one time, before you breathe in the office, he will sleep with you. They want to promote you, he will sleep with you. The day he feels like sleeping with you, he will just come up with something and says, if you don't do it today, I won't submit your file. Your file will not. I already spiraled it in my head for where it's going to go, so we're not going to start it. And so that I will not be feeling, God, this job, what I told myself that I will tell myself that that job is no longer available. And I told that man that story, and I said, that's the same thing I'm saying to myself, that power you have, just in case you actually have a power, and the power is transmitted by intimacy, the way STI is transmitted. If there is that power is transmitted by I've told you today that that power is not in you. So if I sleep with you, it's just going to be a waste. That's what I told myself. That man doesn't have this power, even if he exists. And if I do sleep with him, I'm not going to get anything. That question, that answer is a question you have answered. That answer, is an answer you have given yourself long before that day. The reason you will consider it and say, babe, let me just do it. It starts from that first moment of consequences. There are certain things that we forgo and it's painful. We live with the consequences of letting it go. Yes. There are some relationships you have said no to. And in that moment, when you said no, you will lose a lot of things. The man will not like you. The man will tell his friends that you are proud. Society will look at you as stupid. You will feel the pain of saying no. But that pain of saying no is nothing compared to the consequences you are running away from. That moment when they drown you is more than it is not up to what is ahead of you. The question asked is, can you explain Odu that says we have, what's this? That says have two wives. Sorry, I don't understand. Like, are you asking me to explain an Odu that says somebody can have two wives? Please, Island King 718, if you are still there, is that the question you are asking? That is there an Odu that says somebody can have two wives? If yes, there are Odu that say that. Ejogbe is one of the first go-to Odu that says anybody born of that Odu is going to have two wives. Yes, Island King, is that the question you asked? Have I answered the question? There are several Odus that talks about polygamy, that validates polygamy for the people born with that Odu. Odurifa Ejiobe is one of the go-to, one of the most popular Odus for that. And yes, it says that whether the person wants it or not, it's going to happen. They are going to have, it's either they have a baby mama or they eventually marry a wife, or they marry a wife and in the process somebody has a child with them. And you know, in Yoruba land, the moment a woman has a child for you, she has become a wife. Like, she has become a wife. Both of you are not legally written, but ẹni tó ti bímọ fẹ́ ni Yorùbá ni ó ti kúrò lálé ẹni. So it might even come as, it says, yes, my ask to explain the Odu that gives Babalawo the okay to have two wives. There is no Odu that gives every Babalawo. Is not every, Ifa does not have general Odu for everybody. Ifa has, there is an Odu Ifa that breathed that Babalawo. So if the Odu Ifa of your Babalawo is a Jogbe or those other Odus that talks about polygamy, yes, he can, just like any other person. Whether you're a doctor, you're a lawyer, you are an artisan, whatever it is you are. If the Odu Ifa that breathed you speaks about polygamy, is in your destiny. It is not like there's a special Odu that says the moment you become a Babalawo, you have to have more than one. There are Babalawos on my team who have been married only once and they've been married for 30-something years. And they are married to only one woman. I have a Babalawo who was married to only one woman. The woman passed and is raising his children by himself. He doesn't have another wife. So, but if I understand how there are so many Babalawos, no, I don't want to call them Babalawos. There are so many Adamunshes that are throwing around. I'm a Babalawo, so it means I have to have more than no. If he can share, if a man is asking you out, who is a Babalawo, and he can share his Odu Ifa for you, and you find out that that Odu Ifa says he can have, that polygamy is okay for him, and I had a video, I posted a video recently on my stories. I will post it on my status very soon, on my page very soon, where I was addressing men that are born with Ejiobe and similar Odu Ifas who have taken that as a license to go around sampling women in the name of, if I says I'll marry more than one wife, before I marry the other one, at least I have to sample her. You don't have the intention of marrying her. You just want to sleep with her. You just want to use her for whatever it is she represents in the name of, I'm supposed to go and marry more than one. In fact, the situation that led to that, it was a very close friend of mine. The situation that led, I monitored a pattern in him. He's a Babalawo. I monitored a pattern in him. He had married the first wife before he got into Ifa. Ifa says he can marry more than one wife. Now he's going around with certain women and he's looking for women that are successful, women that are committed to Ifa, women that are already established by themselves, that are single mothers or they are advanced in age, women that are in the circle that life calls, they don't really have so much options. And according to him, he's helping those women by marrying them. That's a pattern of somebody that is just, excuse you, we're adults. We know what that kind of person is doing. But as far as he's concerned, he's not doing anything. He's just helping women. So you're just helping women. For some magical reasons, your women just happen to be this certain group of women. You married one in America, successful nurse, that is also an Iya. She's about 45 and she's still single. And you know that she's in a point in her life where society says she should take the next option. You have another one in Canada that is a single mother of 2, successfully raising her children. She's a medical doctor. She has a hospital in Canada, private practice. She has another one in Lagos. And then you are still asking at another woman that I know who is in Dubai, who is also a successful real estate person. For some reasons, those are just the kind of women that gets to come around you. Anyway, who am I? Who am I to say anything? I'm just saying, don't fall into the trap of anybody that is manipulating you into becoming second, third, fourth, fifth wife under the guise of don't do it. People are out there not even understanding what Ifa means. They just told them, yeah, a joke, but you're going to marry 2 wives. They just hijack. That is the only part of their Odu that they are running with. They don't know that Odu also talks about the responsibility that comes with having those women. That same Odu is the Odu that says Òrìṣà jẹ́ n pé méjì obìnrin ò sí o. Meaning that there is no female Òrìṣà that wants to be a rival. They don't want to be they don't want to have co-title. It means that those women you are married, they naturally don't want. So you require the wisdom of Ọ̀rúnmìlà to be able to handle them. Ọ̀rúnmìlà is the Òrìṣà of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. That is why that Odu was able to give Ọ̀rúnmìlà everything that comes with that Odu. It is in that same Odu that we have the story of Ella. They don't know the other responsibilities that comes with that Odu. The only one they pick is go and marry 2 wives. That's the only thing that they know. But it comes with consequences. Continue. I have people who have that Odu. Every day they always say, Olódùmarè, I know it's going to happen, but the day it comes, let it be in the most effortless way. Let it be something that my family will accept it effortlessly. The other woman too will just be peaceful. And I don't want drama. If they could withdraw that part of their destiny, they will. But the rest of the agenda, continue. You know me, I will not say it's not continue. I will tell you to continue. Àṣepamọ́ ló wà, kò sáṣegbé kankan anywhere. Wàá bẹ̀rù ẹ̀ ń bòde ìwọ ló di. You shall meet your load at the other side. Are you not the one that boarded the plane with you think because you are sitting down in the plane now, there is no bag. When the plane lands, your bag is waiting for you at the other side. Baggage claim will call you to come and take your bag. So you see this bag you are packing. Everything you are doing right now, the consequences is waiting for you as baggage claim. It's still your own. It has your name on it. If you want to run away, they will drag you back and give you. You cannot abandon it here. You will take it with you. So don't worry. Whether it's polygamy, monogamy, do it right. Do right by yourself. Do right by your partner. So let's round off this. We're already gone we're far gone with this. So self-preservation is the real moral law. Self-preservation. Self-preservation. You are an adult. You have your own money. Nobody controls you. You can walk into the market in the city anytime and buy what you want. Nobody will stop you. No law forbids it. So excuse me, why will you buy rotten food and eat? Of everything, you need to understand that this freedom that maturity gives us, it comes with consequences. You cannot say just because I can do anything, you now decide to do anything. Some things are good generally, but some things are not necessary for you. Everything in life you can do, most of the things, you're an adult, somebody will question you. But there are certain things you need to have conversation with yourself that I cannot do. It's called self-preservation. You will not, because I can eat anything, decide to now go and drink to stupor. It does not make sense. Because I can buy everything with my money, you are not going to buy rotten food and eat. Self-preservation. Because I'm an adult, as long as it's two consenting adults, there is no grape there, it wasn't against her will, is why you are sleeping with your friend's wife. That's why you are taking advantage of that girl. You know that girl is in a she's in a dying situation. You know that guy is in a life-threatening situation. His mother is on a sick bed. You know that at that point he will say yes to almost anything because of money. You now decide to present situation. Then you are now telling yourself, but he chose it. I mean, nothing goes for nothing. Are you not the one that's chose it? I didn't force anything on him. You know what you are doing now. Somebody said in a joke way, it doesn't necessarily mean you marry a second wife when your wife is alive. The second wife can come through. No. A joke way is not when your first wife is unalive. This question came from YouTube. When your first wife is unalive and you marry a second wife, it's not polygamy. A joke way speaks about polygamy. So when your partner is unalive and you marry another partner, that is not polygamy. That's not you having two wives. You had just one, the other person was unalive. That's natural course of life. That's not polygamy. Ejogbe speaks about polygamy in the sense of there are two people that exist in your life at the same time with the title of a wife, whether it was legally signed or not, which is why I stress the fact that it might even come from somebody just having a child with you. And if I say in Yoruba, we say that ẹni tó bímọ fún ni ó ti kúrò lálé ẹni, meaning that a woman that has a child for you is no longer a concubine. In Yoruba, they are no longer a concubine. Torí nǹkan tó so yín pọ̀ is there for life. That child that has joined you together, none of you is praying that what has joined you together to separate you. You are joined together for life. You are in each other's life for life, directly or indirectly. So what Ejogbe is speaking about is not a woman passes and you marry another woman. That can happen to anybody. If I will never say if your first wife passes, you should not marry another one. I've not come across any Odu that forbids you from remarrying when your partner passes. But we are talking about polygamy in Ejogbe. I hope I've answered your question. Ashiri Otao Nibo. Oh, I've seen this name before. Last year, Edumare. Ashiri Otao Nibo. Ashe. So self-preservation is one thing that you need to stress. Self-preservation. You can afford to own your property. You can afford to do anything, but you're not going to build a house that is under a high tension wire. You are preserving yourself. You are not going to say, I can afford to do anything, then go and build a house in the center of the stadium. Is that okay? So these are things that, so in everything that you do, self-preservation should be the key. Now let's talk about revenge and the 80% that lands on you. Now I want to show you the most expensive thing that the outward definition of sin has cost us. If wrongdoing is something you do to another person, then revenge starts to look as if it's reasonable. Like, I'm revenging because I'm hurt and I'm doing something to fight for myself, quote and unquote. So let me give you an example. A woman finds out her husband stepped out of their commitment, or a man finds out his wife did. Then the wounded partner sits down and makes a decision. I will do the same thing. Let them feel it and know how it feels. Now let us count what actually happens here. You take yourself, your body, your energy, your name, and all the things that you have built in your life, and you place it inside a stranger's life. You don't go there empty and you are not coming back empty. You are going there with everything that you represent, and you are coming back with a part of them. You come back carrying whatever that person has been carrying, their history, their entanglements, and what they've been through, what they have done, the spiritual weight in every place that they have been. You did not ask them for the report about their life before you met them, or you did not do it after to say, can I be involved in this person? No. You just went to the next available person and attach yourself to them. You come back carrying a health consequences that you might end up managing for the rest of your life. You may come back carrying an unplanned pregnancy and a child that you have actually pushed into this world who you did not have any plan for as a revenge project. That child did not ask for it, but that child will also carry it. Now you may come back having handed a stranger permanent information about you, your address, your marriage, your weak points, your face. The person has obtained a kind of leverage that they would always use against you anytime they want to come back quietly. You may come back having an open door in your spiritual life that you now need a priest and able to close. Now tell me, what did the person that you are punishing lose? The person that you are taking a revenge against, what did they lose? Who actually suffered more? Comment section, please. In this situation, the person, your partner that you are taking a revenge on, what did they lose? Who is suffering more? Who is at the greater risk? I need comments. Maybe I'm the one that is just taking it too personal. What did your partner lose in this sense? What risk is your partner against? Who is at the greater risk? Who is losing more? Who is more likely to experience pain? You or them? At the end of the day, it's you. At the end of the day, it's you. Your greatest revenge is to walk out of that situation, hand them over to the available authorities, whether physical authorities, spiritual authorities, financial authorities, whatever authorities, hand them. Go ahead and make a success out of your life. Get healing for yourself and make a success out of your life. Taking yourself out of that situation is your best bet. If you cannot immediately take yourself out of that situation, start to work out on a plan. But you see that revenge, when you think about how it affects you, you won't do it eventually. It's very painful, but at the end of the day, you just feel like there are certain things that people do to us. When you think about the caliber of person you are, your name, your integrity, you just feel like this person has nothing to lose. You have a lot to lose. So you are not going to be fighting in the mud with them. You have a lot to lose. You just quietly walk out of it. Because you have first of all thought of yourself and everything you are building. There are certain things you will not do. You think I will find out that somebody is cheating on me today and I want even before I decide to engage with you intimately, I will go and research about you, because it doesn't happen accidentally. I'm not a club girl. I will not go to the club and get pregnant and just I said get pregnant, go to the club and get high or get drunk and just sleep with a random person. You will not find me there. So when it comes to intimacy, it doesn't happen with me accidentally. I don't know of any other person. I'm speaking for myself. I will do Ifa divination about you. I will spiritually look at you, spiritually check you. Now, in all of this checking, you might miss some things. The moment I find out that there's a part that I've missed, and I'm not able to continue with it, I take myself out of there. People that know me know. In fact, among the people that know me, if anything happens in my relationship today, they can tell you 9 over 10 that Ìyánífá ЭWÀ was one that walked out of that relationship. Yes. Because the moment I see something that is not aligned with the destiny that I'm going, I'm sorry, I'm going to go. I owe it to myself. But you cannot say that, ma. If you now meet the first person, second person, third person, and you now leave, then you now meet the third person, and you say you are going to leave. Yes. As long as it's not aligned with what I'm building for myself. I know what I have planned for myself in this life. I know it. I have blueprints. I know where I'm going. I know the path that it takes. Based on my knowledge as of today, I know what it takes to get there. I know what is in that line. I know what is not in that line. I'm not going to go. You think I'll meet somebody today that I fell in love, and the person will say, we want to go. My family is from Austria, so we have to move to Austria, and that's where we are going to live. No matter how loving and caring you are, I cannot date you. The moment I find out the relationship has ended, Austria, Babu, my destiny is here. The thing that I'm building is here. What I'm doing right now is my destiny. My work has to be here. If you are not comfortable staying in Nigeria, what am I doing with you? I don't understand. Ìyánífá, if you get there too, you can still do Ifa work from there. By all means, people are doing Ifa work from anywhere. But the part of Ifa work that I'm doing is in this land, in this country. No matter how crazy this country gets, we move, we are here. This is where it is. I have already defined that for myself. I'm not here because I don't have a choice. I have 1,000,001 choices. I'm here because at this time, this is part of my destiny. I've had residency in a couple of countries. I've lived in countries where people look at as the gateway to heaven. How can you leave America and go back to Nigeria? How can you be a resident of Dubai and go back to Nigeria? How can you start up a company in China and go and live in Nigeria? Because I have a destiny here. You still don't understand. So anybody that doesn't align with that, excuse me, sir, we will see later. It doesn't matter how many times. My first assignment is to this Ori. So anything you see me do right now, anybody I'm involved with right now, is because they are aligned on the same direction I'm going. God forbid that I manage any form of business partnership, relationship, and marriage because what? I love you. I love me first, and I love my Ori first. My first assignment, I met me first. My assignment was given to me first before I met you. You are secondary. So the moment I find out that you are no longer aligned on this path with me, because I met you and we agreed today, because we have a path that looks similar and we are going in the same direction, the moment you take a curve, I'm not going to follow you on that curve. Go possible. This is where me I'm going. Except if I says, oh, now there is a curve, we are going together. My Ori says, okay, take that curve. But if my Ori does not say, this is where I'm going, sorry, we'll see later. A relationship you have built for 10 years. A man that loves you this much, I love him too. 10 years have come to an end. I am going on this path. That's me. That is me. And I feel like every adult person has to come to that point in their life. There's something I learned from somebody recently. We're talking about a part of their life, and they had mentioned, I waited for 3 years. Despite the pain, despite the mockery, in the process of that 3 years, I met people. I had opportunities presented to me, but I know that is not what it was. I waited for 3 years until I got that thing, until I got that person. And every time they say it, I look at them like, wow. You know, when I don't understand how to explain it. When you are waiting for something, if you have other things, like you have this iPad now, I don't know what year this is, but you have this, and then you say you are waiting for something better. That's something better. Maybe that one is 2027, and you have this in your hand and you are waiting for that. You know it's easier. But when you don't have anyone at all, and you are waiting for that other one, and somebody present this to you and you say no, and they present this to you and you say no, and they're asking you, what are you waiting for? When I see it, I will know. My Ori has not communicated. That's another level of spiritual awareness. That's another level of spiritual awareness that even me, at this point, I'm telling myself that I should aspire to get to that level. When you have had a conversation with yourself, you know what you want. And anything less than it, you will continue to say no. Meanwhile, people are laughing at you. They are mocking you. You are going through the consequences of not having anything at all. People will say, at least take this one in the meantime. You said no, because I don't want to hold this one in the meantime. And then when that thing comes, they will pass me by and say, you already have something. At that point, it will be difficult for me to throw this one away and pick that one, because this one that I picked is already my responsibility. I might miss the one that I'm working towards just because I want something in the interim. Hey, I tell that person every day, I say, see, if you don't know that I respect you, always remember this thing. I respect you, gone you. Because some of us, we don't even have the patience. I stopped waiting for something the day we agreed that we are stopped waiting for Jesus. Jesus is coming was the only thing I was waiting for in those days when I was a pastor in church. Right now, we are both agreed that we are not waiting for Jesus. I'm not waiting for anything. You get to a point where you have had a conversation, and do you know why I'm happy for that person? They eventually got that thing. And the day they got that thing they were waiting for, everything around aligned to the fact that no, this is Olodumare at work. There is no corner you want to be.
And the way the event unfolded, everything you could have ever had asked a person to ask for, they got it in one single package that they waited for. Because there was a day they had a conversation with themselves that I know what I want. Exactly, and if it comes, it comes. But in the process of that, we will continue to move on until it comes. And when we find it, we will find it. It came to them containing other things that they did not even ask for. I don't know how I'm able to communicate this in a way that it makes sense to other people who did not experience that thing with them. I learned it though. And after that day, I had a conversation with myself that the destiny that my Odu has shown me, this Ori that I have picked, nothing is going to stop me from fulfilling it. And I'm not going to settle for anything less than what my Odu has shown me. I don't care if I'm the only human being that it makes sense to, because at that time, trust me, the only person it made sense to was that person. Every other person around them was saying, what was wrong with you now? Just pick one and go already. What was the problem? Is it not going to be a human being eventually? They said, no, I know what I asked for. I sat down with my Ifa and I had a conversation. And Ifa confirmed it that this is what I am going to get. And I will stay here until I find it. If you do not pick anything from this live streaming, pick that. You see, when you have that conversation, if anything comes to you presented as a look-alike, your spirit will tell you, this is not the conversation we had. It's not this one. It's not this one. And the day that it is, everything will align to the confirmation that this is it. And you know that at the end of the day, it was worth it. Now, when that thing eventually came to him, he now started to look back at why did it take that long? And he realized that he was not in a situation where he was ready for that thing. Event has not fully aligned for that thing. He was not seen. There are certain things that your Odu has said about you that you yourself, you are not ready for it. You don't have the capacity for it. You don't have the capacity for it yet. But that's where you are going to. And in your process of waiting, Ifa is building you, Ori is building you, the universe is building you to be ready for it. By the time that thing gets into your hand, you will realize why you had to wait for it. There are certain things that that person had to learn. Me having conversation with them, I know. And I told them, I said, if you had not learned this, if you had not outgrown this, if you had not dropped this, even if that thing come, you would have still messed it up maybe in the first 6 months. But Ifa knows that, you have waited too long. And the moment the person was ready, it came. And the way it came, it wasn't, you know when you accidentally get something, or something just comes to you that, it just comes to you and you say, oh yes, I'm grateful. No. That thing will make you think that, in a 1,000 years, there's no way this thing can happen. What will I have done to deserve this thing? In 1,000 years, if they are giving options, this wouldn't have happened. It took a certain day that the universe aligned, that Ifa aligned. In fact, the reason he got that thing was because the whole circumstances that surrounded that event was Ifa. Under normal circumstances, he was not supposed to be at that place at that time. The only reason he went there is because he was honoring Ifa. That circumstances was beneath him, but he was honoring Ifa, and he got there and he got the answer that he has been waiting for. When I say an answer comes packaged as a package of the rest of your life, like everything you will ever need in life is wrapped inside that package, that's what it is. I learned another level of patience. Manisuru. And I've been telling myself every day, Ìyánífá ЭWÀ, you add a little bit of patience to your patient. Because people that know me know that, you know when people say, when God was creating somebody, let me do that thing for you. Babe, please, if you can hear me, can you bring that fine fancy bowl? If you can hear me, that fine fancy bowl, please, can you bring it for me? Babe, can you hear me? Yeah, that fine fancy bowl that looks like ice cream bowl that is beside the Chinese teapot. Please help me bring it. Somebody dropped a comment. I want to show you something now. I love commenting. This is where I can I want to use it. So you know those those content that they create when they say, when somebody created my husband, he poured fineness like this, it was plenty. When God created me, patience was like this. You see how it's dripping? We'll just small like that. I don't too have it. So meeting somebody that could sit down and express, me say if I looked at myself like, and it will not be bad. If you go and learn patience, it will not be bad. There's nothing wrong with it. Just learn it and know it. But you can only have that level of patience with yourself and be determined to it when you have had a conversation. Sorry, there is lemon in it. I usually add lemon to my water. Sorry. It comes, you see, when it happens to you like that, I beg of you, have this conversation with yourself, redefine yourself, make boundaries for yourself, set self-preservation standards for yourself, love yourself. You see, you will not go outside and be struggling with sin. We're going to have a second part of this because I cannot finish all this today. That will be next week. In that second part, we'll be talking about àṣìṣe. What happens when you make a mistake? Human beings make mistakes. What happens when you do something? You have good intentions, but it just turns out to be the wrongest thing entirely. How does Ifa see things like that? Is it the same thing? Then what is the one that we call ЭWÀ, your taboos, things that is just strictly against your destiny? When you do it, what happens? That's what we'll be talking about next week. Thank you so much for joining us on the live streaming today. I remain your host, the delectable, pretty, intelligent, eloquent. Add more vocabulary, please. Add more adjective. Let's define Ìyánífá ЭWÀ. The delectable, intelligent, eloquent, spiritually fortified, everything, Ìyánífá ЭWÀ. I will see you next week. But before we go, let's make our ìwúre. Thank you so much for that gift. Elegant. I like that part. Thank you so much for being here today. Let's make sweet 16. Oh, thank you. Let's make our ìwúre before we go. Ìwúre is how we say prayers. Sophisticated, knowledgeable. Oh yeah, keep clicking on your screen. Let's get to 100K before we go. Click on your screen, keep clicking on your screen. Let's get to 100K before we go. Nature by royal art, that's your job. Where is every other person? Oh yeah, let's go. Let's make our ìwúre. Ìwúre is how we make prayers in Yoruba. Ìwúre is how we make prayers in Yoruba. Click on the plus sign to follow, share, repost, and continue to click on the screen. You see, we are getting there. Oh yeah, let's hit 100K before we go. Thank you so much, guys. So let's make our ìwúre. Akọ́dá ayé àṣèbà o, àníkíbà wa ṣẹ. Àṣèbà Elédùmarè, ọba tẹ́rẹ̀ẹ́rẹ́ kárí ayé. Àṣèbà ọba lánàá, ọba lénìí, ọba títí ayérayé. Àṣèbà ẹ̀rù jẹ̀jẹ̀ tí ń nígbó kìjikìji. Àṣèbà ọba tí òrọ́mọ níṣẹ́ fàyà sí. Àṣèbà ọba tó lọ kọrin kése, ọ̀pá tí rí kọ̀run kó kanlẹ̀. Kábíyèsí ọba àwọn ọba. Àṣèbà kábíyèsí o, àníkíbà wa ṣẹ̀ràn. Ajagunmalé olúwo òde ọ̀run àṣèbà, olúbíkin ọ̀sán ìbíkin àṣèbà. Àṣèbà àwọn alálẹ̀ ilẹ̀, àṣèbà àwọn tó ṣawo kù sẹ́yìn fún wa, àṣèbà àwọn tó dá ká tó dá, àṣèbà àwọn tó tẹ̀ ká tó tẹ̀. Àwọn olúwo wa, àwọn ojúgbọ̀nà, àṣèbà aníkíbà wa ṣe hàn. Ẹ̀yin ìyá mi ọ̀pàkẹ́ àlàkẹ́, ẹ̀yin ìyá mi òṣèrò mọ̀nìgà, ọ̀sà méjì ọ̀sà ẹlẹ́yẹ àṣèbà. Àṣèbà ìyá ayé, àṣèbà abiyamọ ayé, abiyamọ ọ̀run, àṣèbà aníkíbà wa ṣe hàn. Ajíbọ́lá mi ò gbódò ọ̀rà, mo ṣèbà Ajíbọ́lá, mo ṣèbà ẹ̀dọ̀, mo ṣèbà ìyá mi àǹtẹ̀ní, mo ṣèbà ohun tó ń gbé nílé ńlá tí ń fọhùn, àṣèbà aníkíbà wa ṣe hàn. Gbogbo ọmọlé Ajíbọ́lá ni mo ṣèbà fún, mo ṣe ogbó atọ́, mo ṣe ogbó ẹ̀dán, mo ṣe ogbó alàwòrò ló tún fẹ́ fún gbogbo ọmọlé Ajíbọ́lá, mo ṣe ogbó kọrin kése. Ajíbọ́lá gbè wá láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Ẹ̀yin babaláwo Ìyánífá bàbá lórìṣà ìyá lórìṣà àpẹ̀tẹ̀bí, àwọn eléwé ọmọ, àwọn oníṣègùn, àwọn bàbá àtìyá ẹgbẹ́, àwọn lẹ́kúnlẹ́jà àti gbogbo àwa tá a jókòó tá à ń ṣiṣẹ́ ẹrú mọlẹ̀, àṣèbà aníkíbà wa ṣeun. Níṣẹ́ tá à ń ṣe iṣẹ́ tẹ́lẹ̀dùmarè ti parí. Iṣẹ́ táwọn ìyá mi ọ̀pàkẹ́ àlàfẹ́ ti yọ́nú sí, àwọn ló máa gbé wá fún wa láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Àní ṣiṣẹ́ ṣe o, àní fọmọ ṣiṣẹ́, àní faya ṣiṣẹ́, àní fara wa ṣiṣẹ́ láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Àwọn ẹlẹ́rù ńlá 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 báyìí ló máa gbé wá síwájú wa láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Àṣèbà gbogbo abiyamọ ayé, àṣèbà àwọn ìyá àti bàbá wa tó ṣọlọ́kọ̀ tó wà wá sáyé, àwọn tá a tara wọn jáde, àṣèbà àwọn tó wà pẹ̀lú wa, àwọn tó ti rebi àgbáre, àṣèbà aníkíbà àṣẹrọ. Àwọn tó ṣawo kù sẹ́yìn fún wa, àwọn tó fi ẹ̀mí àti ara wọn tó fi gbé ifá lélẹ̀, àwọn tó kọ́ wa nífá, àwọn tó ní ká máa ṣawo, àṣèbà aníkíbà wa ṣẹrọ. Gbogbo orí kọ̀ọ̀kan tó péjọpọ̀ síbí lẹ́nìí ni mo ṣèbà fún. Lórígun mẹ́rẹ̀ẹ̀rin àgbálá ayé níbi gbogbo tẹ́ ẹ wà, mo ṣèbà ọmọdé, mo ṣèbà àgbàlagbà, mo ṣèbà dúdú, mo ṣèbà funfun, mo ṣèbà gbogbo wa lọ́kùnrin lóbìnrin, láti gúúsù lù dé àríwá, dé ìlà oòrùn, dé ìwọ̀ oòrùn, dé àárín gbùngbùn Ifẹ̀ gangan, àṣèbà aníkíbà wa ṣeun. Ifá orí mi rèé o, Ifá olókun asọ̀rọ̀dayọ̀, Ifá ẹlẹ́rìí ìpín, Ifá torí ẹni tí ò sunwọ̀n ṣe wa pé ká ṣe èèpà Ifá, àṣeyé èèpà igi, àṣeyé èèpà odò, àní kífá bá wa ṣe, kífá gba gbogbo ìgbà tá a mú wálé ní ká má ṣe lásán. Wọ́n ní ẹni tó wọlé lọ́jọ́ sí tí òjúbà, òun ló dẹrùn àmúso. Wọ́n ní àgùntàn tó wọlé lọ́jọ́ sí tí òjúbà ló dẹrùn àmúso. Èmi àti ní ti wọlé lémi àti júbà, ó sì di dandan ká aroko dalẹ̀. Wọ́n ní àdáṣe ní ń gun mọ́. Ìbà ọgbọ́n gbọdọ̀ wú ọmọ ènìyàn, ìbà òní wú èmi àti ní láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Ojúmọ́ tó bá máa mọ́ wa ní gbogbo ọjọ́ tá a máa lò nílé ayé, ojúmọ́ ire ni, ojúmọ́ ayọ̀, ojúmọ́ ìdùnnú àti àlàáfíà, òun ló máa jẹ́ fún gbogbo wa láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Àwọn tó láyé wá fàyè gbà wá, àwọn tó nílẹ̀ wọ́n á bá wa ṣe tiwa láṣẹ pé láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Kò wá sí bá a ṣe lè rè nílé ayé tó, èmi àti yín ò ní ṣubú dànù. Àní rìn níbi táyé ti ń yọ̀, àní rìn níbi tẹ́sẹ̀ ti ń yọ̀, àní tójú ayé mọ́lẹ̀ ọ́, àní taṣọ àgbà mọ́lẹ̀. Ẹni tá a máa ṣe tí ò ní dáríjì wá, Elédùmarè ò ní jẹ́ ká bá wọn pàdé láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Àtọ̀tún àtòsí tẹ́yẹlé fi ń kórè wá lọ́mọ máa gbére ajé, ire owó, ire ọlà wá fìmí àti láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Wọ́n ní àbùdí ní tolókun, àbùdí ní tọlọ́sà, bá a ṣe ń bù á máa dí ni. Ọwọ́ wa ò ní kàn sálẹ̀ àpò láṣẹ Elédùmarè. Kò wá sí bá a ṣe lè lówó tó, àní fi wo àìsàn, àní fi ṣẹjọ́, àní fi wọ́mọ kiri. Àwọn tó ń gbá ni ò ní gbowó tiwa lọ́wọ́ wa, wọn ò ní lù wá ní jìbìtì ara àti tẹ̀mí láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Àwọn ọmọ tẹ́lẹ̀dùmarè ti wá fún wa, wọ́n á dirun, wọ́n á dìgbà lọ́wọ́ wa, àní fojú sunkún ọmọ, àní mọ sàárè ọmọ. Ẹrù tálábíàmọ ìtúkùn ní gbé wá kákọ̀ọ́kan ní wa mọ́lé láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Wọ́n ní láàrin ìpèrèlú, òun ni màrìwò tí ń ṣẹ̀ṣọ́ ròde. Láàrin àwọn tó ti yàn yín lọ́ta, àwọn tó ní okùn bíi tẹ́ ẹ máa gbé gbà, lẹ ti máa ṣoríire mọ́ tilẹ̀ láṣẹ Elédùmarè. Àwọn tó ní ayé á dúró tì yín, àwọn tó nílẹ̀ á dúró tì yín, àwọn tẹ́lẹ̀dùmarè gbélé ayé lé lọ́wọ́, wọn á jẹ́ kẹ́ ẹ rí bá ti ṣe tá a rọ́nà gbégbà láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. kò sí bí àìsàn ṣe lè kéré tó, ó gbóògùn ni kò gbóògùn ni, ọmọ aráyé ò ní fi kankan nú ẹ̀ ṣe wa, wọn ò ní fi ṣan ara wa bá wa jà, wọn ò ní fomi àtẹ̀jẹ́ ara wa bá wa jà láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Ifá ti gbé àwọn ará wájú o, Ifá gbèmí àti yín. Ìṣẹ̀ṣe ti gbé àwọn tó ṣíwájú wa, ìṣẹ̀ṣe á gbèmí àti yín láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Gbogbo bá a ṣe ń gbọ́ nínú ẹbọ tá à ń rú àní ru lásán, gbogbo tá a ti ń gbé tú ọ̀pẹ tá à ń tù àní ṣètùtù lásán. Àwọn tó láyé àgbà, ẹ̀gbà ayé àgbà, ẹ̀gbà ọ̀run àgbà, igúnnugún tí ń jẹbọ ọ̀ṣálú ayé á jẹbọ tiwa, àkàlàmàgbò tí ń jẹbọ ọ̀ṣálú ọ̀run á jẹbọ tiwa. Èmi àti yín ò ní ṣe lásán, á kórè wá, a kó ọlá àti ọlà wa. Ifá wá fa oore àlékún, oore àlékún ní Ifá máa fà wá fún wa láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Àwọn tó wá ń tà ń gbẹ́bọ fún èṣù àgbà, ẹ̀gbà àgbà á gbé fáwọn ajogun ájẹ̀yìn lẹ́yìn èmi àti ní láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Kò sí bá a ṣe lè pẹ́ láyé tó àní fojú sunkún ọmọ, àní fàìsàn ló gbà, àní bá wọn sunkún, àní bá wọn fọjọ́ ọlọ́jọ́ lọ. Ikú àìtọ́jọ́ kò ní jẹ́ tèmi àti ní láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Gbogbo irúnmọlẹ̀ àti àwọn òrìṣà tó jílẹ̀ káàárọ̀ òjíire mú, wọ́n á dúró tì wá, wọ́n á bá wa ṣe tiwa láṣẹ pé láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Wọ́n ní àbòdí báyìí òun ni tolókun, èmi àti yín bá a ṣe ń bò á máa di fún wa. Wọ́n níjọ́ tó rí bá fojú kan ọ̀rìn, ìjọ yẹn ló ń yọ, ọmọ aráyé á máa yọ́nú sí wa ní láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Wọ́n ní kò wá sí béèyàn ṣe lè ṣe orí tí ò ní mì. Wọ́n ní kò sí bá a ṣe lè jẹ ẹ̀kọ́ tí ò ní rá wa lọ́wọ́. Gbogbo ibi tó bá kù díẹ̀ káàtó sí, àwọn tó láyé á foríjì wá, àwọn tó nílẹ̀ á foríjì wá, àwọn tó ṣílẹ̀kùn ọjọ́ èní wá yọ́nú sí wa láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Wọ́n ní àwíṣẹ ní ti Ifá, àfọ̀ṣẹ ní t'Ọ̀rúnmìlà. Wọ́n ní àbá tí alágẹmọ bá dá, òun lòrìṣà òkè ń gbà ọ́, irọ́ là ń pa ọ́, Elédùmarè ọba òkè ló sọ ọ́ dòótọ́. Èyí tá a wí lé ní ẹ̀gbà ayé ti gbà, ẹ̀gbà ọ̀run ti gbà. Wọ́n ní téyín iwájú bá gé ẹran báyìí kèrègbè àgbà ni. Ó ti rí bẹ́ẹ̀, ó ti ṣẹ bẹ́ẹ̀ láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Àṣẹ. Wọ́n ní kí Ifá ó bá wa ṣe, k'Elédùmarè ó bá wa ṣe. Àwọn tó ṣàwo kù sẹ́yìn kó bá wa ṣe. A ní kí Ifá ó bá wa ṣe, k'Elédùmarè ó bá wa ṣe. Àwọn tó ṣàwo kù sẹ́yìn kó bá wa ṣe. Ifá bá wa ṣe o, Elédùmarè á bá wa ṣe. Àwọn tó ṣàwo kù sẹ́yìn wọ́n á bá wa ṣe tiwa láṣẹ pé o, láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Àṣẹ. Títí ọjọ́ mẹ́jọ tá a tún máa pàdé lórí ètò Sunday morning live streaming with Ìyánífá ЭWÀ lórí ìkànnì Ifá College lórí TikTok àti ìkànnì Ìyánífá ЭWà lórí YouTube. Àní ire báyìí òun lójú owó ń rí, ire lójú wa máa rí láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Until next week when I'll come your way again. Sunday, 12 o'clock Nigerian time and 7 a.m. for those of you on the EST. Láṣẹ Èdùmàrè, everything we lay our hands on will prosper. Everything that we stand to represent, the Orishas will speak and breathe prosperity and blessings on it. Láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Àṣẹ. If you're just joining us for the first time, this is a recording and Sunday, live streaming. So we have replays on our YouTube channel, Ìyánífá ЭWà TV. So you want to head over to our YouTube channel, Ìyánífá ЭWà TV, to catch a replay of everything that we have done in the past. Don't forget, our feature book for today is the Bashe book. So if you haven't picked a copy of this, get a soft copy or hard copy, whichever one that you want. And those of you that are also asking for the sacred text of Ifá, ọ̀rọ̀ tí Olódùmarè ń sọ, the 16 Odos. Somebody is even asking, why do I have to buy this book? There's so many Odo Ifá's book. Here is the reason you have to buy it. Because every essay Ifá is broken down into the Yoruba rendering, the English translation. Then the lessons and the blessings and the instruction in that essay Ifá is extracted. Application to modern day life, how to apply that essay Ifá to your everyday life is also there. Talking on the same essay Ifá, then we go further to extract the prayer and the Iwure that is assigned to that Odo Ifá. This is what you have here. How much are the books? Head over to the website ifacollege.ng. Somebody should type the website in the comment section. ifacollege.ng. You will find all the information you need there. If you need a consultation, you need a divination, you want to do your Itefa, your Ishefa, and every other thing in between, send a message to the WhatsApp number that is now showing on your screen. The
WhatsApp number that is now showing on your screen. You will get it there. Now, we also have Ashe for Today for kids. For those of you that have children, please head over to the website. And 3 to 6, they have their different copies. 7 to 11, they have their own. And the teenagers also have their own. They are all available on the website. If you are catching a replay of this video, all the information you need is in the description box below. Eshegonia Dupel, thank you so much. Please post the WhatsApp number on the screen so that we can pin it for the next 1 minute. Thank you so much for participating. Ifa will continue to increase us. Let's share Idumari. Ìyánífá, will you bring some of the books with you to the UK? Yes, I will. So for those of you that is in the UK, that are in the UK, I will be visiting the UK in the month of October, and I would love to see you, to see your beautiful faces, to say thank you to you for the support you are giving, you know, just to have a conversation and a good time with you. So if you are in the UK and you want to see my pretty face, you can send a message through the WhatsApp number that is showing on your screen, and we can arrange something beautiful for ourselves. If replay will be available on the YouTube channel, the replay of this video will be available